So I guess Tank got in some trouble, man. This sucks because he's a hell of a talent. He's a hell of a talent, and to see this man kind of throw his career away would be bad for boxing because this is an exciting guy, quite a talent. Uh, I enjoy watching this guy fight. I wish he fight different fighters, but man, this dude has got to get together, man, outside of the ring if he wants to make this thing work. You know, I think that it's a bad time. I guess this guy's got 14 counts. So he's not. I don't know. I think he still gotta get through it. 4 counts of failure to immediately return and remain at the scene of an accident. So I guess some people got hurt, and and that sucks, man. That sucks because we want to see this guy, achieve something. What's going on, actual? You want to see this guy achieve something, and then to see it see this happen is just bad for boxing, bad for his career. I don't know. Seen it on Boxer Scene. It's on Boxer Scene. They got it all over the place. I guess it happened a week after the Tank Davis bout. But yeah, man, this dude's a serious trouble, man. And this could be bad. This could be bad, man. Hopefully, nobody's really super injured, and hopefully, maybe it wasn't him. We don't know the whole story. Like, know that he got the counts and all that, but we don't know. We don't know. I just want to know what y'all thoughts is on it, and we could just talk about other boxers too. I just hate to see this guy throw his career away. It'd be bad. What's going on, Mar? Lisa? Uh, 1 second, y'all. All right, thanks for staying with me, y'all. But yeah, man, this is pretty serious, man. This is pretty serious. What y'all think about it? You know, what's going on, Kong? Uh, what y'all think about it, man? Like, y'all think, man, I don't know what to think about it. You know what I mean? I just don't want to see this dude continue to do dumb shit, man. Like, where's his team, man? Like, that's what I mean about keeping the right people around you, man. To not allow you to do dumb shit. Then you need that thing called common sense to keep your ass out of trouble. Called growing the fuck up. Because this dude is a multi-talented dude, man. So this dude is this dude could be a star, a real star in boxing. And to see him throw his shit away like that, just over doing silly dumb shit is just crazy, man. Man, I don't know, man. This dude need to relocate something. What's going on, sporting? But I dropped the link for the homies if they want to hop on. But I don't know, man. This is crazy. And shout out to Regular too. Go check out his his video about Bob Burnham. He did a little video about a song about it. And Black Horseman. If y'all missed that live, go check that out as well when you're done here. You know, but yeah, man. To see this go down, I mean, I didn't like the way this guy was moving, jumping from 130 to 140, but to have this shit happen, man, like his career it could go all the way downhill. You know, It could go all the way downhill. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it. Actual, what's up, man?
Yeah, man, what's going on? It's your boy.
It's
the
your
one
boy.
and only Tank, the stank. I got a damn wig going, Davis.
Tank,
I'm hitting
man.
and running, I'm running and gunning, and I'm not stopping for nobody.
Yeah, man. And from what they saying, man, like dude took off, made moves, man. Like I don't know, man. I mean, that's just crazy.
I'm not
man.
only knocking motherfuckers out with my hands, but I'm knocking motherfuckers out in my Phantom, baby.
Bowling pins and shit. Like this is fucking awful, man. Like it's awful. I want to, and you know, I mean, are we going to see this guy in the ring, man? Like is that it? Like I mean,
that shit is over. This shit is over for him. It's over. 14 counts is over. It's fucking over for fucking Tank, man. This shit is done. Finito.
Damn, man.
Last chapter. End plot. Next sequel. Who's the next character?
Fucking
Tank's
awful,
offspring.
man. Awful, man. Awful, man. Awful. And it just takes something like that, man, and boom, everything's done and over with. Just to, I'm a peel out in my shit, and I'm just gonna hit this corner a little too hard. We almost lost Spence because of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Bragging about how he made it through and shit. Luckily, he didn't catch nobody when he was wheeling and dealing with his shit. Now he's swerving on Bud still. So I mean, it's just whack, man. You know. Yeah, man. I guess it's when you get to that level, you kind of like, I don't know, man. Like these guys got to roll the dice outside of the ring. What's going on, Con?
What's up, 1, 2? What up, Santos?
Yo, what's up, Con?
All good, man.
Yeah, man.
But that's it. I think that shit sucks, man. Because he was gonna mix it up in the division, and to just go out and do some stupid shit like that is disappointing, extremely disgusting, man.
But what about Tank? What about Tank that's ever screamed maturity and good decisions? This is a man who walked over into a rather public basketball game and physically abused his ex-woman in front of an entire crowd on CCTV and thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So what about Tank tells you this guy makes great decisions? Tank, I mean, of course, people are going to come and say, oh, he's a young guy and all that. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
As young as I was in my life, all the dumb shit I done did, it ain't no way I could have done nothing like this. But you see, people like Tank are being encouraged by people around him and his ridiculous social media followers, just like Spence. When Spence got into the accident and they jumped out the window, ain't nothing wrong with Spence, man. Oh, he just enjoying himself, man. That's cool. He young.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So these guys, as you said, 1, 2 kid, he needs to relocate. I had recommended Spence relocate to like Wyoming. What's in Wyoming? I don't know what's in Wyoming. That's the whole point. Ain't nothing in Wyoming, right? So, you know, he Tank need to move to like North Dakota or something. Where ain't nothing up there, but I don't know what the fuck is in North Dakota.
But fucking train it, man, and make him wait like that, undisciplined, all that shit, man. And it's a wasted talent for the boxing community, and he just thrown his motherfucking life away, man. I mean, shit. It may not just be boxing. Like this dude, what's this dude going to do after that? You know what I'm saying? Like what now? You know,
my thing was, this has been an ongoing issue with Tank for the past now 6 years. 6 years at least. Some kind of trouble he's always getting into. He was doing a lot better when he was living with Floyd at his house and over in Las Vegas. Problem is, he goes back to home, goes back to his, his environment that he grew up around, the people that he be around, and those are the people that, they enable him. They're enablers.
Yeah.
They don't tell him to slow down. They don't tell him to pump the brakes, literally, so he won't fucking run a fucking goddamn light and hit somebody, almost kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? And now he's facing 14 fucking counts because why? Because he's around these motherfuckers that he grew up around. And I know he is. I know it. He's around these fucking stupid motherfuckers from a city that they just don't give a shit. They see the fucking money. They see you got a lot of fucking money. You got a nice little fucking fam and shit. Yeah, we fucking with Tank tonight. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? He gonna buy the drinks. He gonna do all that. Let's give him a drinking contest. All right, come on, Tank. Let's get a drink contest, little motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He ain't nothing but 5'2", 5'5" at least or something. And he's not gonna hold his drink like the rest of his homies on the block.
Yeah.
And homies on the block, they don't give a fuck. It's like, yo, yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not gonna be like designated driver shit. Who the fuck does that shit? Fucking square ass motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's drivers. I got a designated dick that your girl can suck. Fuck that shit. YOLO. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that.
Yeah, fuck that shit. And that's the thing, man. I think the restriction, he should have some sort of restrictions when he goes home, that even if he does party or whatever, which he shouldn't be as a professional athlete like that on a regular basis, but have it restricted, you know what I mean? A restricted environment to where he can't make moves. And you would think that, you know, after seeing what Spence had done, that these guys would catch the fucking drift. I mean, you would think that as a professional athlete, you shouldn't even have to be that shouldn't even have to be brought up to you. You know, just rolling the dice with your career and your life and other people's lives is just beyond fucking, I don't know, man, beyond belief. I find it very disappointing, man.
Call it what it is. Fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Shit.
It's dumb, man. It's stupid.
You stupid shit, you win stupid rewards, basically.
What's going on, Red? Lisa, how y'all doing?
Red, Lisa.
I'm good. Yeah, I saw the news about Tank. Yeah, I saw the news about him. Basically, I don't know. I'm thinking that you know, he grew up in Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like the greatest, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of, you know, the socio income, you know, it's like, what I do know about Baltimore, because I've been there plenty of times. So it depends on where you live at there. And he comes from the foster system. So like, I'm not making no excuses for him, but I think we don't know what type of trauma he's been through, but he has been blessed with the talent that he has, because he's a very talented boxer. But you know, just because you have all this money don't mean that you haven't really done any internal work, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So he's thrust into the spotlight, all of this money, he's young.
Mm.
The maturity is not there yet. And you know, unfortunately, he still probably has to heal from his past.
What about you,
I'm
Red?
not making no excuses, but I'm
Right.
definitely not making no excuses. You know, every person has to grow. You know, everybody don't grow at the same rate. So just because he has, and that money don't make you necessarily happy either.
Yeah. And what Sporting says too, I mean, was he driving? You know what I mean? You know, or is it because he the famous person, they just putting it on him? You know? We don't know. So
right.
But the fact that you're surrounding people, you know what I mean? You're surrounding yourself with people like that. That's just bad business, man. You don't get nothing. Nothing good comes from that. You know what I mean? Nothing. So just know that, man. There's only two ways out of that life. You know, that's it. So if you don't change your ways, man, you're gonna wind up one or two ways, and one's just a little quicker. You know?
Right. I think a lot of people from the hood think that they owe people from the hood something. And granted, I think that you should always give back to where you come from.
Yeah.
But they want to bring people up with them, and it depends. You can't help everyone, but there's other ways to give back.
Right.
And a lot of these young athletes and these young rappers, they have to be careful because they're using these guys as security, and instead of hiring professional security,
Hmm.
and then they get caught up in a lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah, because they unprofessional too. So
Right.
something going to just pop off, you know. And it's crazy
Yeah.
because you just got to be careful with the company you keep, and otherwise this comes out. And being that he's famous is the reason this is out there. And but he got a lot. What you think, Red?
This reminds me of a quote that I heard, and it goes something like this: "You're not a man based on your age and your gender, and you're not a leader just because you got followers on Twitter." And this is we're seeing a young boy grow up in front of us. He may be 25 or 26, but he acts like a rebellious teenager. Um, I mean,
That's a good statement.
Davis.
Maybe we should send some pamphlets out to these some of these athletes, man. It's pretty sad, man. It's pretty
Yeah, I
sad, bro.
mean, he definitely has some learning to do. And I apologize if you hear echo. It's just because I just gave my dog a bath. And, there's some floor's a little wet, so I'm trying to dry it up. but
Yeah,
but yeah, he needs to learn responsibility, and that's the thing. He's in a sport where you're supposed to be disciplined. You should be learning to be more disciplined, to be more responsible with your actions. And I really think he's kind of his career is kind of being babied. Therefore, he's not growing at the rate that he should be. A lot of people, they put
Right.
their kids in martial arts to learn, not just so they can learn self-defense, but so they can learn good traits, as in being responsible, understanding when it's appropriate. Most parents don't send their kids to karate class and then say, all right, when you go to school, you pick a fight with the biggest kid in your class. No, it's to teach them discipline. He's very
right.
undisciplined. He's not very responsible. You see who he hangs around with. Spence. He needs to learn some responsibility himself. So it's like the blind leading the blind. Spence is older than him, but if it's true that he's drinking, and it did look like he was drunk, that's not a good role model for him. Hanging around with these rappers, like Lisa was saying, there a lot of the, not all of them, but a lot of them are not the best influences. So he needs what he needs is somebody like Andre Ward, who can tell him, look, I know you understand you're a young man, but at some time you have to grow up. Like what he did with Shakur Stevenson. He got into some trouble, and what did Andre Ward do? He nipped it in the bud, and I haven't heard anything about Shakur being in any trouble ever since. So that's what he needs. He needs somebody like that.
He needs a role
Yeah.
model.
But you know what?
Yeah.
And that's a good point, Red. But Andre Ward was already married with a few kids by the time he was Tank's age. Because I remember seeing like old pictures of him. He was already married. So he was in a responsible predicament. But of course they're two different people, but I know that Tank has a little girl, so eventually, hopefully by the time he's 30, maybe he'll mellow out, but I don't know.
He kicking himself in the ass right now. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Well,
now he is.
You got to be willing to learn from people's mistakes. And you got to be willing to learn from people's successes. And you're right. His upbringing and everything that plays a role in it. But you still, as an adult, you're still responsible for your actions. And At some point, this guy got to grow up, or else he's gonna. You know, a lot of people make comparisons to him and Broner. Broner's in his early 30s, and he's consistently in court for stupid shit. Does he really want to be like Broner, or does he want to be more like, you know? And I know Floyd Mayweather has had his share of problems, but still, if it comes down to them two, I think we all know who we would rather be.
Hey man, Tank need a good flogging, a good beating. You know what I'm saying? He ain't get no good washing out in his life. He need a good flogging with a good strap, with a chancleta, something. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all he need.
Yeah, man. I'm just
well, he's not
like,
gonna get that with Ellerby. Ellerby is like, y'all ever heard that term, helicopter parents? Have y'all ever heard
No.
that? It's like anytime. Yeah, it's actually a term that I heard recently, like within the last couple years. But it's like every time your kid gets in trouble, what do? You fly to the rescue. So that's how Ellerby acts. Like he's a yes man, basically. He's like, oh, it's fine, you know, you might have 14 counts being charged against you, but we'll take care of it. We'll make sure that you don't see a day in jail. We'll make sure. Basically, he's there to ensure the young man don't see consequences, and that's not doing him no favors.
yeah. You know what I think it is too? Is I don't know what Floyd's telling this man, or if he is telling him to do the right things and he just ain't listening. But Floyd runs a fine line between both worlds. He'll present it in this way, but it ain't really like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think people get lost in that, and they think that that's the real world when they see these guys on social media doing all this shit. You know what I mean? And they get confused. It's basically like a fantasy land, man. So if you really live that way, man, then then you really not a professional, period. Like if you gangster, you gangster. Ain't no real super gangster, real gangsters in boxing. I mean, it's not real. Like, it's just kind of like a persona. They have to have some sort of discipline to gain these successes. So you rolling the dice, playing with two worlds. You know what I mean? You're that famous, and then you go back home, and I know what he's going through, but you got to draw a line, man. You got to draw a line. Where you gonna go? What you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, and where your limits are, you know, and let it be known. Whether they out there capping, like with, you know, Angel was saying, like, oh man, fuck that shit. We don't need no designated driver, blah, blah, blah. That's some bitch shit. You know what I mean? You be like, motherfucker, you got to get the fuck up out of here. What you trying to do? Fuck up my whole career, motherfucker? You trying to fuck up my money? You trying to fuck up my family? Oh, you don't give a fuck about me. You know what I mean? What you mean you got a package? You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out my car. I'm kicking motherfuckers. You know what I mean? You reach that type of success. You don't want to have that type of shit around you, man. And they shouldn't even jeopardize you. You know what I mean? If they gave a fuck about you and they happy to see you and they want to see you in the Hall of Fame and they want to say, hey, you know, celebrate with you and all that shit. If these motherfuckers really gave a fuck about you, why would they even allow you to be in that predicament? Because the moment you get in trouble, them motherfuckers will be like, yeah, but that's what he wanted to do. He's his own man.
It's not their responsibility at the end of the day.
Yeah. A lot of them dudes just really want to see you back there so they can laugh at you.
Yeah. You know
That's
what?
Well, I mean, this kind of what 1-2 is just talking about. It reminds me of a situation that it wasn't my own situation, but years ago, my brother's barber got kicked out of the barber shop, and because he was selling cocaine on the side. So the owner of the barber shop was like, you can't cut you can't cut hair here no more, because like
Allegedly.
You get caught, that shit can come back to me, and I'll lose everything. It's the same principle. He needs to keep those guys away from him, because like if they're like on their gangster shit, for instance, you know, they ain't gonna give a shit. Like we've seen these Pop Smokes and these XXX Testion guys get just taken out. These hood people, you know, hood people don't give a shit. And when you get out of that, it's okay to try to bring other people out of that, but a lot of them try to bring that with them. And that's what you need to keep. You know, there's nothing wrong with remembering where you came from, but you got to keep focused on where you're going.
Yeah. Streets don't love you
Well,
like that, man.
I mean, for real, it's called paying attention to your circle before they hurt you.
Yep.
Okay? That's a big saying. This is something that I fucking grew up with my whole entire life growing up in the South Bronx and Webster Projects. Pay attention to your circle before they fucking hurt you. Hurt people. Okay? Let me say that again. Hurt people. Okay? And when you're not looking out, look the fuck out. What Tank's doing right now, he's looking out for his people. Get it. I get it. I fucking get it, and I respect it. But the thing is, you look out here and there, and then you go about your business somewhere else, not over in the same area where you're looking out at. Because motherfuckers is always looking out for you, and the minute you fucking slip up or renege on one of them, they take you out. Point blank, period. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's a dog-eat-dog world. And especially coming from Baltimore, especially when you coming from this DMV area, tri-state area, big inner city area, it's a dog-eat-dog world, man. And there's a lot of grimy motherfuckers out there, man. You know, I used to have fucking beef with motherfuckers in my own fucking building in the projects, man. Motherfuckers are murky that live right fucking 2 floors above you. You know, they fucking murk you because you're doing better than them.
Yep.
You know, they fucking jealous.
Yep.
Motherfuckers get jealous. ERs, and you know what I want to say, the N-word, but I'm not going to say that because I respect this platform too much. But listen, the ERs, they looking for a come up. They looking for your coattails to ride on. Tank.
Yeah.
And they don't give a fuck about what you do. They're gonna laugh at you. They're gonna laugh at all your fucking jokes. They're gonna think you're the funniest, hilarious motherfucker out there ever. Yo, you the funniest motherfucker out there. Was this same motherfucker laughing at your jokes in high school? Huh? Was these same motherfuckers chilling with you when you was fucking struggling to get some fucking pair of jeans or some sneakers or some of the fucking some food to put in your fucking mouth? Huh? Nah. They're not.
You know
Just
what,
fucking-
Angel? I'm glad. And you know what, Angel? I'm glad you're here because there was a situation where you had to bring up, you had to bring to my attention, some associations that I was carrying that I shouldn't have been. It's a very similar situation. I mean, of course, it's not as dire. I mean, in a way, it kind of is, but it's. Because we're talking about YouTube, but it's kind of the same thing. We're trying to build a certain community, and we're trying to we're trying to do it without the bullshit. And I was entertaining it, and at first I was even being a little hard-headed, but then Angel, me and him, we had a private conversation, and he really made me see that this was hurting our goal. Like, we wanted to move a certain way. And this wasn't what I was kind of damaging that. I was holding us back. So you need somebody like the Angel Sand or the Actual Facts. You need somebody like the Andre Ward to help you see, from the outside. You might not realize from where you're standing, but they see it, So, but that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off because you keep on going live when my phone ain't 100%. But not only that, I'm uploading my video for tomorrow, and I don't want to die in the middle of uploading. So I'm gonna be in the chat. But thanks for having me, 1-2 Kid. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, and make sure that you also check out Actual Facts. He has a channel. He goes live whenever he's able to. So. And much respect to Lisa for putting in her perspective. It's always appreciated.
Thank you,
Always.
RTM. Always a pleasure. And you know what?
Same
I'm gonna
here.
say this. Thank you. Angel, to piggyback off of what you were saying, I come from the concrete jungle as well. So I
Yeah.
know about that. You could grow up with people and they wound up murking you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
You know, over something really trivial when you break it down. But so I know how that is. You know, I grew up with people threw stuff out the windows,
Yeah.
you know,
You know.
bites, whatever. I've
Toilet.
seen somebody get hit. I saw a guy get hit with a peach. Somebody threw a peach out the window, out the 10th or 11th floor window, and
Yeah.
the peach burst in his lap, and he went upstairs and cursed her out. I remember that. So
Man.
I grew up around all of that. I remember the incinerators too,
Yeah. Right. See.
before the shoots, before they was throwing live fire. You know what I'm saying? So I know about the concrete jungle. I know, you know what I mean, how it is, and you know, it's just basically you know, hopefully this man will get this wake up call, you know, when you know, and just move forward with his career, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hopefully, before it's too late. If this ain't too late, you know what I mean? It's a roll of dice. What's going on, Truth Bomb?
What up?
Joe,
Hey
what's up,
Jay,
man?
how you doing?
Taking it easy. Taking it easy. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty
So
good.
great. How are you?
Not bad. Just checking out the news cycle on it.
Yeah,
Man, these
man.
guys, the thing is, these guys they got a bunch of money. They're putting their asses on the line fighting. They're going to go out and have a good time. Some of them, there's a fine line between reckless and careless.
Yeah. Yeah. It take a little crazy to get in there at that level too. But at the same times, man, I mean, what you doing it for? You got to remember why you're doing it.
Well, I
You know what I
figure
mean?
it like this. How old's Tank Davis?
You nothing but 26.
Okay, what was his life expectancy coming from Baltimore?
We're not gonna get into that now. I mean,
Seriously, in his mind, that kid's 26 years old, got knocking people out left and right. Might as well be going to go out and live his life and, do whatever they want to do. Spence the same way. All those guys is like, shit, they got that money. Like I said, I think the fine line between reckless and careless is what is it? Careless is whenever you're gonna hurt yourself, and reckless is whenever you do stupid shit and hurt everybody else. Like I don't give a shit what they do as long as they're not gonna hurt anybody else. But outside of that,
Yeah, man. But that's the thing.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm gonna judge them. I mean, I ain't got that kind of
Right.
money. I don't fight for it like that. So how the hell? What do I know what they go through?
well, it's more over. Not for us, right? Not for us, right? Because we're grown ass men and women and whatever, and we know better, right? But it's more over for that younger crowd, that that's coming up. These youth boxers that come up and they look up to Tank, especially the kids in his neighborhood. They look up to him. When they see they see him do this, and then there's no consequences or repercussions, or there is, it's kind of.
Oh, ain't shit gonna happen to him. Where did that happen at? Did that happen in Baltimore?
I think it happened in Baltimore. I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah, he's gonna have a trillion hours of community service. He's gonna become one with them young kids. You're gonna find out he's a role model. He'll walk right through this. Spence walked through his.
I don't know, man. I don't know how it turns out, man. I hope it turns out good for everybody, though. Yeah, but it's a bit tragic. And that's the thing is, when you gain that fame and you have that type of following, you got to stay. You got to know with that power comes responsibility, man. You got to, you got to Spider-Man that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because
man, I
people
get that.
looking up to you.
Yeah, I get that, but
Nah,
I
it's
don't
real
know.
talk. Nah, hey, it's real talk. Cause I'm gonna put it like this: when you take a guy that goes out and does shit like that, man. And then you take a guy, you take Bud, right? Now this dude ain't out there partying. He ain't out there doing everything. They
Because he
trying
already
to-
got shot in the head. He
Right,
already
hey,
learned his lesson.
Hey, but
I mean,
hey,
everybody got to learn their
hey,
lesson sometime, and these kids hadn't
hey,
yet.
but you gotta also learn your lesson through other people. Sometimes you ain't always gotta blaze your own trail. Sometimes you gotta know this don't work.
Yeah, but
Like,
you
how
know,
many
whenever
success
you
stories?
know what happens though. Whenever Broner's fighting, they all show up. Everybody's got 10 stacks, backpacks full, and they
Yeah,
get
for how
together.
long though?
The thing is, I'm trying to say, be realistic.
I am
These
being
guys show up,
realistic.
they get together, and ain't nobody driving my fucking Ferrari but me. I'm the one fighting for the shit. I'm gonna drive it, just like ain't nobody else gonna drive anybody else's here. It's not. I mean, we look at I don't know. I think you guys put these motherfuckers up on a pedestal too high, man. They're just gladiators, man. They ain't not just because they got nice cars and they're on TV and shit don't make them special. I mean, hopefully the kids know who to look up to, whether they're on TV or not, whatever they got. You know what I mean?
Right.
To me, it's a completely different thing.
But at the same time, man, you do got these people that ain't that sharp or assume, hey, he got that money, he got that, and he's doing that. So that's what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? That's the point that I think Axel trying to make. And it's like you can't do that. And when you go into situations and if you got a crowd around you and if you got a group of motherfuckers around you that you hanging out with and you ain't willing to let no one drive your whip, then you got the wrong crowd around you.
Yeah, but if he's from the foster system, he probably don't have anybody, and to see a familiar face every once in a while is probably the guys that he, knew when he was 10. Other than that, it's got to be people that are in the game with him. I mean, what do you got? I tell you what, I have a whole different respect for Tank Davis whenever I seen that parade they had for him. That was that was wild, man. When I seen that, I was like, you know what? I hope that kid I hope Floyd don't fuck him. I like Tank Davis. Give a shit what he does. Don't like Earl Spence because he's a fight dodging pussy, but I give a shit what he does either. He just can't be doing that shit on the highways where there other people are. Outside of that, who gives a fuck? These guys just got to quit driving these fucking cars and start riding them horses.
Riding them
Yeah. Hey, man, them horses just as dangerous. Shit.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, ask Christopher Reeves. That motherfucker, he got fucked up, man.
Super fucked.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, there's dangers in everything, but I don't think he was drunk while he was on his horse. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. I mean, that's a wild animal. That's an animal. You know what I mean? So you gotta know what you're dealing with. But when you in these, when you in these vehicles and you popping bottles and shit, you trying to impress, man. Just know what type of shit you could be throwing it all the way in one fucking joyride. You know what I mean? So just kind of do it in a controlled environment where you could really rip and get it off. You know what I mean? It's the best way to do it. If you do it spontaneous like that in the middle of the street, you're gonna find yourself with a lot of heat.
Well, graveyard's full of people that do stupid shit, That's what I tell my kids. I said, look around you. I said, you can see the lucky ones and you can see the dumb ones, and you can kind of tell the life expectancy on both. Every once in a while, one slips through the crack. But how many dumbass old men do you know? Not very many.
So who y'all got in Ramirez and Taylor?
Who?
I got Taylor.
You got Taylor? Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Ramirez and Taylor?
Yeah.
I got Josh Taylor.
Yeah. What about you, Truth?
Yeah, I like him.
I don't know. Probably I'd take Ramirez.
Yeah, I got Ramirez too. I think that jab is gonna be something different in that inside game. I think they both got inside game. Like I think Taylor's really good on the inside where he could get off good shots, but I don't think that's his niche. And I think that jab that Ramirez got, kind of like Ortiz, I think that's gonna get him inside, and I think that he's gonna edge him on the inside. You know what I mean?
Ortiz who? Which Ortiz?
Virgil that just fought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, what'd you think of that?
Mo
What'd you think of that fight?
Mo Hooker's jab was tearing him up, but Mo Hooker just don't have a
He don't got
You
the
know,
in his shot.
Yeah. And this,
Yeah,
I'll tell you
he-
what, his it looked funny watching him go to the body though, because you could see them some bitches winding up from a mile away, but he was landing them. That was a wild fight to watch.
yeah, it was a fun
Yeah.
fight. I enjoyed
Yo,
it.
I'll
Yo, I
tell you what,
called that.
I'm not sure if Virgil Ortiz's power got exposed or Mo Hooker can just take a pounding, man, because he was fucking taking them shots.
I
Yeah.
don't see. I didn't see it much different than the Ramirez fight. It was quite the same.
God
The
dang, that guy
fight
can take a hit.
for me, the fight played out exactly the way I thought it would.
Yeah.
And he literally, like I said, you know, a couple lives ago, I think it was on Black Lives, he's gonna break Mo Hooker down, and he's gonna break him down and beat him in 7 rounds, and I hit it. So,
Yeah,
right.
you know,
I blame
pat
Hooker.
myself on the back.
I give them both credit for that though. I think Hooker
Right.
just he don't be slipping side to side. When you get inside,
Yeah.
he just trade with you. I mean, I can understand if you got no way out and you could get off like that, but why not use your niche? And then it takes
Yeah.
him like 3-4
Fight the wrong
rounds.
fight.
Yeah, it takes him 3-4 rounds to warm up, even though he'll be sitting there scrapping. Like there was no snaps on his shots for like until like round 3 or 4. And he came out and started throwing combinations with a little snap on him. But he must be heavy-handed because Ramirez face, man. You know, I mean, it didn't.
Well, that
it
jab that he was
or
sticking it. Yeah.
Ortiz face, man. It didn't look, you know. It looked a little rough at the end of the fight. You know, he went through some adversity. You know what I mean? So I mean, it wasn't no walk in the park. It was a good fight both ways. So I mean, when guys say, "Oh yeah, Hooker got fucking dominated," it's like, well, you got to keep in mind, man. You know, look at Ortiz. You know?
Yeah.
You look at the state of his face, there's no way. He's lucky the fight was stopped. Wait, look at the state of his face. You know, I got him. Look at the state of his face. Look at the state of his face. You know, number one, no guy test.
So yeah, man, he felt the bump. You know what I mean?
Lennox the Lion Lewis.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my man's.
You gotta out jab
Yeah.
the jabber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you get inside
think
when they
you
can
would-
jab like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, you would
Listen.
think he gotta establish like a Tommy Hearns type of jab with them long arms. He needs
But
to
Tom-
establish a jab that will cut you.
Yeah, but you know what? Tommy could get that jab off and be moving to the side or backwards. That's the
Yeah.
difference. You know, you got to be giving them angles while you're pumping that jab out. You got to learn how to throw while moving your feet at the same time. You know, not everybody coordinated like
yeah,
that.
because
or they
Tommy
feel-
was also a good boxer.
You know the problem with Hooker is? I'm gonna tell you straight.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you straight right now. He likes his power, and he thinks he could get everybody out of there with his shots. That's why he'll sit down on his shots. It's like just set him up, let it happen. You know what I mean? That's where people have the most success in boxing, where they'll be good punchers and then they'll go through things, and then if you just let it happen, the KOs will come. But if you just looking for a KO 24/7, most of the time you ain't gonna get it. You know what I mean? Experience will fuck your whole game up. And if you ain't got a plan B and you think that you're gonna get these guys out of there and they got those solid chins, man, you gotta have something else in your bag, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some other shit in your bag, man. You gotta have a limitless amount of shit. Okay, that ain't working, do this. That ain't working, do this. You know what I mean? Oh, he switched up. Now I gotta change it up a little bit. Give him a little something. You know, that's what makes these fighters great when they get in them tough competition. And shout out to them because they put on a hell of a show in the process. I enjoyed that fight very much so. That was an exciting fight.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
an exciting fight, man.
Yeah, it was.
And you know what?
It was good.
Ortiz, he should have been moving his head earlier. He started moving his head later. You know what I mean? And
Right.
And he was slipping well, but there was moments where he was just squared up, and he paid for it. You know, he paid
Right.
for it. So he made some adjustments too in that fight, and you know, he could crispen up his game as well.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Wow.
I see what's his name getting some flack, huh?
Who that?
Bud Crawford.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, he said something about Canelo, and then
What'd
he
he say?
getting flat, huh?
What'd he say?
Hey, Dr. Mario 41. Hey, yes, it's me. It's Lisa B. Yeah, he was saying something about I don't know, something about Canelo not fighting black fighters or something. And then he's getting flack for I don't know, with this whole Ortiz thing from the weekend.
Mm.
So yeah, he getting a lot of flack right now. I've been seeing it all over.
Yeah. When he was talking about Ortiz, I didn't see him say nothing wrong. He was like, he's good, man. Good for him. It's like, yeah, but what about if he gets in the ring with you? He was like, what you think gonna happen? That's what he's supposed to say. What
Right.
you think gonna happen? Like, man, you know he gonna get the business. That's how Bud he say that to everybody. You know what I mean? As for some black fighters, there's some truth in that. You know, when's the last time you been in there with a black fighter? I can't recall. It's been a while, right?
Jacobs.
It's been a while. Jacobs, yep, Jacobs. So it's been a little while, yeah. But that was a good matchup. So, you know, it was a good matchup. I mean, I ain't gonna knock him too much. I used to knock him a lot when he was younger for the way that he moved, but I mean, I don't knock him too much now because the talent's there definitely and the skill set there. I would just like him to challenge himself with a Charlo. I would like to see him in there with a Charlo, or Andrade, or a Bivol, you know, and then
but they're gonna have to come up to his weight class probably.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Bivol was bigger, so
That's the thing about the fighters nowadays. I think y'all could agree with me is you'll hear them say they'll fight certain guys at certain weights, but there's certain guys that they won't fight. Like I'll come down to 160 and fight Spence. It's like, why not get that title off motherfucking Andrade or or fucking Charlo, you know, and they're decent names. Like people want to see you in there with a decent name with decent skills. I mean, you could argue the Andre shit, but skill wise, I think that's a good matchup. Same with Bivol. But then it's like, oh, you just want him to lose. I'm like, man, I just want to see him challenge himself. Well, he already beat this guy. I'm like, he did. I gave him big props for it. But as a fight fan, that's the fight I want to see. I want to see these guys take on their biggest challenges. You know what I mean? Not these guys that go overboard and jump 3 weight classes and try to scrap with, you know, Mikey and Earl Spence. I thought that was, come on, man. I didn't give Floyd props for jumping on Marquez in his comeback fight, and that was a comeback fight. You know what I mean? I was like, this dude ain't never been at welterweight. You know what I'm saying? He not ready, but he settled in. Maybe he had some help. Maybe he had one of them shakes, you know. But he settled in. But that was one of my favorite Mexican fighters. I don't think that dude gets enough props. People be low-key dissing him, man. It's like, yo, this dude stopped Manny. On top of his game.
No, he's one of the greats. He's one of the greats.
Yeah,
he's a Hall of Fame.
Right. But I'm saying though, but it's kind of like ain't no loudspeaker attached to that shit. That's just like a whisper. I don't like that shit. I'm like, yo, this dude been in there with Morales, Barrera, like he beat that young cat. I'm trying to I can't think of his name offhand. The young Mexican dude that was on fire. They had 2 wars, and I mean, who hasn't this guy been
I know
in the ring
you're talking about. I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, I mean, that dude is a monster in there, man. I love the way he threw combinations. Yo, I mean, as much I'm not gonna call him underrated, but I don't think he gets enough props for what he did. You know what I mean?
I think he's very well respected in Mexico and over here in the States. They always respected him, and you know, it's just that you know, it was Chavez Sr. was always just a bigger, you know, star or whatever.
Right. But I always liked Marquez. I remember he used to come in with the black hat. You know what I mean? He used to come in with the black hat with the thing that went across.
I think his brother is more underrated.
Yeah, his brother was nice too.
Yeah.
Yep, his brother was, and he had
Yeah.
them bouts with who was it that he fought? That shit was like, oh man, they had three fucking
Israel Vasquez.
Vasquez. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Those
He lost
fights
his
were,
eye, unfortunately.
yeah. If y'all want to watch a fight, watch those. Those are wars, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. They
Every
are.
one of them, man. Fantastic
Yeah.
fight, man. Fantastic. So Camacho
Yeah.
fighting Chavez Senior, Camacho Jr.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
a 50.
Chavez.
You know what sad is?
Hey, he's
That's
still
a-
a dog.
that's a-
I gotta give him credit.
That's a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man. Hey man, why not get the cash grab? Shit, we can't. And you
Yeah.
know why these guys could get the cash grab? Because the big names ain't fighting each other for the most
Right.
part. You know? But you think we're gonna get
Yeah.
Tyson Fury and AJ, man? I certainly hope so.
Well, of course we are. But you don't believe in me. Come on, 1, 2, Lisa B.
Yeah, I think it's gonna
You got
happen.
to believe in me. Me and AJ gonna have it on. It's gonna be a trilogy. You're gonna see.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen. It's just that I just think there's a lot of negativity, like saying it's not gonna happen or doubting it, and
Yeah.
because they're not like the favorites here in the U.S. Fury because of the Wilder thing and AJ because of the Wilder thing. So it's they're not gonna get like it's gonna be people that's gonna support it, but then there's gonna be people that's not gonna support it. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I think it'll happen. We're not gonna win.
You're a dassa.
I certainly hope so.
Huh?
I certainly hope
Anybody
so. Man.
doesn't buy my fight, me and AJ, they're a dassa. You're a dassa. If you stream it, you're a dassa. So you can watch
Yeah,
it.
thank you, Jake. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Go ahead and watch Tyson Fury's
Fury's
fight.
awesome.
I can't be a
Tyson-
dassa.
I've never been a big Fury fan, so I've never been a big. But I think he's talented though.
Yeah, I think he's talented
First
also.
time I really noticed him was the Klitschko fight, and I was like, who is this guy? When he came in there like Batman, I thought the dude was crazy.
You know, I seen him prior to that, and he would just be talking shit about everybody. He'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna see the big dosa, and when I see him, I'm gonna knock him spark out because I'm the Gypsy King, and he can't." And I mean, the dude brings excitement to the division. He brings,
Yeah.
some people are a little more humble, but I think he brings a lot of excitement to it. I think the promotion is great. That's why if Mike did fight, I think they were talking about it on Blacks. If Mike did fight James Toney, the promotion would be fucking crazy. I could imagine that shit. Like James Toney, but I'm gonna knock that motherfucker out. Rudy Tooter.
I think you're right about that one, 1, 2. That would be the fight.
Yeah, that's
I
who he's
saw
gonna
James
fight.
Tony early.
The promotion
On
would be
Ellie
great.
Setback.
I think the promotion
Yeah.
would be great for that
But I
fight
don't-
if them
I
dudes.
just don't
But I
want
don't
to see
think
him
Mike's
in
the
the
same.
ring. Yeah.
I don't think
Like, who's
Mike don't, but he don't really need no promotion. He
Uh.
would. I think it would be a big promotion, but I could see him getting Tony, especially now. Mike's way
Right.
out, and Tony when he was at heavyweight, I could see Tony whipping him. When Mike's way out, you know what I mean? Around that time, that
Uh-huh.
shit. Yeah, I could have seen James getting him because James he was still nasty. He had a little help though. He had a torn bicep.
Mhm.
They say he had a torn bicep. But that dude, he hardly trained. He just sparred when he trained, man. He just sparred. Put him in here. I love watching him spar, man. That dude's fun. He be talking big shit in the ring too.
Yeah.
I love James Toney, man. One of my favorite fighters.
He was a Kronk fighter, right?
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
for a little while. I know he was from he's from Michigan too, though, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So he
Yeah.
got it all. He got it all.
Definitely. Let me tell you something. I've been a James Toney fan since '89, bro. No shit. Listen, me and my son, I was watching James Toney before my son was born. So, it's like, wow, to see James Toney, fight a Mike Tyson right now, I don't, do I want to see the fight? Yeah, but do I think Tony's going to win? No, I think, Tyson beats him, right? But anyway, look, what's going to happen, right? James Toney will come back, and then he'll fight Mike Tyson in there, and then they both fight each other's ears off because James Toney be hungry all the time. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker eat.
Yeah, I was low key mad when he lost to Jones. I was like, this hungry motherfucker. I was like, I wish this motherfucker came. Like, he just made weight. He looked in shape, but you could tell, man, like he wouldn't. Not taking nothing away from Jones. He's probably still would have lost, but who knows? At least come in shape, man. He really thought he was gonna wipe him out.
You mentioned not taking nothing from nobody, right? But you got fucking old Bob trying to take money from my kid's mouth. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These promoters, man, they think that we're slaves or some shit. You're supposed to have slave wages and shit. That's slavery's over. You know what I'm saying? Bob, pay the fuck up, bro. Come on, man.
Real talk.
I didn't give you the bomb bag of fucking smoke the other day, Bobby. Come on, bro.
Yeah. Reach in your pockets, Bob. That big ass wallet you got. Can't spend that shit.
Look at that man.
Can't spend that shit when you dead.
Stop mixing sativa and indica, Bob.
All the negativity he spewed out. All the negativity he spewed out.
Oh, Bob
Rigondeaux, Floyd Mayweather, all of them. Huh?
Yep.
But the thing is, he can't do that with my son. You know what I'm saying? He can't do that with me and my son. You understand? Because we proved ourselves. All right. We beat the boogeyman. All right. Lomachenko. Tank didn't want to fight him.
Okay.
Floyd didn't want to risk it. Leonard Schmellerby didn't want to risk it, right? But me, being the man that I am, right? The upstanding citizen that I am, I said, you know what? My son can beat this man. And look what happened. We chased him down and we got him. But so now we not the A side. We not the unified undisputed. Fuck out of here. We got all the belts. We control the narrative. All right? So miss me with the bullshit.
Yeah, man. But he's unified. He ain't undisputed. Sorry. Sorry, Tio Junior number one. Nah, man.
I don't understand why people don't get it. Like as far as that, like in order to be undisputed, there's an agreement upon all the sanctioning bodies. So in order to be, you have to have that world title and all the 4 sanctioning bodies. You know what I'm saying? Since they added the WBO now. So when you look on the other websites, of course they got TO, but WBC also has Haney, and then TO is the franchise. So I don't get what people don't understand about that. It's a technicality, but they really messed that up. That didn't even have to be.
That's a fact. Queen. They messed it up, man. That whole WBC. I'm tired of talking about that. Like the Bud and Spence. Yeah, I think Bud is finally tired. He's like, man, fuck that dude. I mean, he's like,
Well, getting a lot of flack right now. There's a lot of videos right now up about him, what he said about Canelo, and then also I guess over the weekend, because a lot of people think that Bud should just take the whatever the offer is,
mhm.
that was out there, just make the fight happen. So, I'm not going to get into all of that because I'm not here to tell nobody what they should take and what they shouldn't. It's none of my business. I really don't like the whole money stuff being talked about online. I
Mm.
get it in other sports, they do it, but not like in boxing. Not like in boxing. I don't see fans in other sports debating over what LeBron James is gonna get what LeBron James is gonna get and all the other top athletes. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Mhm.
if they do that in other sports, please enlighten me. Do they?
Nah, I can't recall. I can't recall ever hearing nothing like that with anybody else. To be honest with you, I mean any other sport at all
Right.
ever. I agree with you. You're right. You're 100% right.
Right.
And I think that's just to make arguments because they fighters are scared to get in the ring. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Because that then it goes to the fanboys. That's the root of the problem. Is that they're getting
Right.
screwed over and they don't even realize it. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. And that's what I mean. It's that simple. When guys are in the same weight class and they
Or
don't fight each other, one guy wants to smoke and the other guy don't. And this dude saying he ain't fought nobody and who is he? And it's like, the marination is done. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to marinate it no more.
Mhm.
And I think everything's gonna pan out real soon because I don't if Earl Spence gets in there with Ugas, he's rolling the dice, and he's rolling the
Right.
dice to avoid Bud. And then on top of that, if he's trying to age Bud out, that's a bad idea because he's the one not taking care of himself. Bud been taking care of himself. So I don't care how much older Bud is than him. It may not fall. He might be. I said it before. He might be stepping in shit. You know what I mean? Like he may not realize it yet, but he might think that this dude's gonna fall off. But this dude takes care of himself, so it may not work out in your favor, man. You know, you should jump on it while you can, while you're
I mean,
healthy.
you never know. I mean, I get it. I get it. He's been through a traumatic, his body. So his body has to, he came back and fought Danny Garcia, so that was a good thing, but his body still, I'm sure, is still, healing because there's some internal. I don't really know that's what
Right,
they
right.
said, but, but it still takes your body time to, heal from something like that.
He looked good though. That's the thing is
No, he does, yeah.
he looked good in the bout. I'm just curious to
Mhm.
you know what I mean. I'm curious to why even roll the dice with Danny Garcia when you could have got in there with Bud, because that's what you clamor for. You building a narrative that is strap season, but not his strap though. I
But he
mean,
is getting the straps though when you think about it.
I
See, it
don't
could
know.
go well, yeah, that's because that's the fight we want. Of course we want that fight, but he's still collecting these straps. This is all about leverage and chess, you know what I mean? Maneuvering the board. And right now, if he fights Ugas and wins, then he's gonna come to the table with 3.
Yeah, but at the same time, man, I like them to see him play chess and maneuver in the ring rather than maneuver away from a fight all this time. You know, yeah, I just think I don't think it's gonna work in his favor.
Yeah.
I really don't. And that's the point I'm trying to get at is, and I think he's holding up boxing because I don't like that, man. And Manny too. I mean, he's stalling out to fight Mikey for payday. I mean, he can do what he wants to do. I think the franchise championship should have been for a guy like him and a guy like Floyd if he decided to come back.
Mhm.
I don't think Canelo reached that just yet. You know what I mean? He's a superstar. I get it, but and Lomachenko, hell no. You know, like he definitely accomplished a lot more than a lot of others have. But at the same time, man, like franchise money guy. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
yeah, I don't know, man. None of it makes sense to me, to be honest with you. None of it makes sense, but it makes sense to Suleiman though. It makes sense to that dude, man. That dude probably like, you know, yes, it doesn't matter. Everybody wins at the WBC. Everybody is the champion. Everybody is the champion.
Of course.
Sanctioning fees for me, Mauricio. Give it up for Mauricio and all his motherfucking belts. This motherfucker got more WBC belts, man.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Oscar gonna be coming back soon. You know this dude hard up, man. They be like, man, the only way you gonna pay us back for what the fuck we gave you and we invested in you is if you get your ass in the ring.
You know I'm going back
fighting?
there.
Who is he
I'm not
fighting?
gonna be in there for long. I'm gonna knock out my opponent in one round. You don't get paid by the hour, baby.
Yo, and you know what? He promoting himself like, I'm not gonna come back and just fight anybody. I'm going to fight a really good fighter. And they're like, well, Bud, and he was like, not him. He's too good.
Too good.
He's too good. And I'm like, man, you look like you weigh about 210 right now. Like, who the fuck you gonna fight? You're gonna lose all types of weight to get beat the fuck up. Say you're gonna get in there with a top-notch guy today. I'm like, who the fuck is this dude gonna fight? They be trying to set something up with Chavez Senior again. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but he got to come up with something, man. Because that Canelo shit, when he lost Canelo, the zone like, you still under contract, motherfucker. You better pull something out your ass. That's why he taking his time with Ryan. He was like, you know what I mean? That's why you hear all the Manny shit. He ready to throw his fucking cash cow in the fuck, man. I don't know, man. And I think I don't know what the fuck these motherfuckers are doing. I really don't, man.
Nope. Boxing's becoming like WWE now.
It is.
Joke.
We gonna have to bring out the Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man. Maybe we do it on the Flame series. I want to do it this week. I want to do the Flame series this week. That the Flaming Faces. You know what I mean? I want to start that shit. Yeah, maybe we'll do it like Wednesday or something. If you down, you down, Angel? You down for that, Angel? You there? Well, I don't know. I guess you're not there. You're like, grrr! He got that face. That was Canelo. when they were like, you can fight Andre for undisputed, you're like, grrr! I'm gonna fight fucking Kovalev.
Yeah, it's just a big old, And you know what? They're not getting. They don't. These fighters, these networks, they probably don't have enough slots. I mean, Top Rank has been doing a lot of fights so far in the zone right now, but PBC, I'm not sure where they're coming in. Maybe they're coming in the next quarter. Who knows? But I mean, they have been showing fights, but not the top. The top of the top guys right now. So maybe they'll come back in a certain quarter.
The zone was trying to work with Mike. They was mad at Triller for stealing the fight that they was trying to steal from Top Rank.
Wait a minute. Top Rank was mad at
the zone trying to pull that Mike Tyson from Triller because Triller pulled Tio and they tried to slide in and made they $2 million offer or whatever. And they came in and was like, we give you 6. So now they like, fuck that. I guess Mike was bargaining with him with the zone.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I saw they put a bid in for Tio's fight. Bob Arum put a bid in, the zone put a bid in, and then Triller came in and put the big bid in. But I know the old man got mad at Eddie, but that's not against the law.
No, not
That's
at all.
not illegal what he did, but
Nah.
he was kind of strong arming him, telling him, you know, that, you know, such and such, you know, we gotta work together for the Fury and Joshua fight. Yeah, come on, man. What's his name? Eddie Hearn is not trying to hear that.
That was a good
Thank
Bob
you.
impression.
Yeah, I'm around the right. I've been around y'all too long now. I'm doing impressions now. Oh my God. So it's like, come on, how you gonna tell another businessman you think because you old, whatever? You ain't trying to hear that. He didn't
Bob
do nothing
mad at
illegal.
everybody. He mad at Floyd. He mad at Oscar. He mad at the zone. He mad at Tio. he mad at fucking the fight fans. Who isn't this man mad at? It's a fucking pandemic. What the fuck you want from me? Go fuck yourself. He's that dude that be yelling at the kids on his lawn and shit. Get the fuck off my lawn. That's that dude, man. Oh, grumpy Mr. Magoo.
Yeah.
Long pockets and short arm having motherfucker.
Yeah, he probably suck on lemons or something. Like, come on, man.
Before every conversation.
Yeah, like him and the other one over there, he doesn't talk as much, but he is tripped too. Fish eyes.
Fish eyes.
Him and Eddie Hearn don't get along. They hate each other. But he doesn't talk as much as Bob. He's a little bit more, but these promoters are a trip, man.
I couldn't stand that. Who was that? That one promoter that I think he was from the UK, the young dude. He just come in and I ain't like that douchey ass motherfucker. Y'all know who I'm talking about? I don't remember his name. I tried to forget the motherfucker.
Mickey Duff.
Maybe.
Is this going back, way back?
Nah, he's more recent, but he was like, he was a young dude. And he'd come in and he'd talk about the fighters and shit. And then I'm like, man, I don't like this motherfucker. I just didn't care for the guy. I can't think of his name offhand, but I didn't care for the guy. I didn't care for the dude at all.
The only promoters I could think of over there is Warren. And he been around a while, Warren. And then Hearn.
Yeah, it's some young kid. I think he works for somebody, but he's like the face, or he was for a while, but I ain't seen him lately. Thank God. You know what I mean? They probably figured out he was no good. But yeah,
I remember Mickey Duff way back in the day.
Yeah, I remember Mickey Duff.
Back, yeah. He was a piece of work too.
Yeah. Yup. Yeah, he was. Bob was so mad. My favorite time when Bob got mad is when they brought up Mikey Garcia. I had showed it in a live once. They took it down. But when the dude brought up Mikey Garcia, he was like, Mikey. You could tell the faces he was making. He was just like, he was constipated. As soon as he said it, he just got constipated and shit. He needed prune juice immediately. Like, this dude was like, he wanted to shake this dude. He was like, Mikey, he's greedy. I'm like, I know this motherfucker ain't calling nobody greedy.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
He ain't worth it. He ain't worth this. He ain't worth that. I'm like, but he getting it, just like Tio getting it, just like Floyd is getting it, just like De La Hoya got it. All these guys got it when they got away from your cheap ass. And don't get me wrong, he built them up when he was promoting, but he ain't promoting nobody no more. You know, he wasn't really promoting. Like, I mean, I know he was on paper, but he wasn't out there pushing these guys. And when he was full of shit. Well, you know, he's always been full of shit. He's the next Ali. He's the best thing. He's the best fighter that ever lived. Like, and then as soon as they leave him, he be like, he's greedy. He ain't that good. I was saving him. I was protecting him. Every fighter, he always says the same shit. I was protecting him. As soon as they leave that motherfucker, he's protecting them. And now they fighting the big fights that he wasn't going to give them.
Yeah, he a piece of work, boy.
Yeah, maybe it's Mick Hennessy.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, I remember him vaguely. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, I know the name, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's Mick Hennessy.
Or you know who cracked me up when he be talking, Eddie Hearn, he'd be like, it's massive. It's a massive. Everything is massive. Massive.
Nah, that ain't the guy. That ain't the guy. This dude is a thin individual, and he always got like a fade, which bothers me. And I'm like, it's like I don't like the dude. I don't like the dude because I rock.
Sure, he's from the UK or is he Russian?
Yeah, nah, he's from the UK. He's from the UK. I just don't care for the guy, man. Every time I see him, I'm just like, I don't like his face.
You sure he's a promoter? He might be a trainer.
Nah, he ain't a trainer. He's a representative. I think he more along the lines like of a Ellerby for fighters.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Maybe he's that guy that worked with Matchroom. It's another guy.
I think so.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. It's another guy, younger guy that works with Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, I just don't care for him. I mean, he probably doing a good job, but I don't really care for him, man.
Yeah, but when I watch a lot of those old fights from back in the day, I saw Eddie Hearn's father in them with Chris Eubank Sr. and I used to see Mickey Duff a lot in those old fights. We're talking about like the 90s, huh?
You think we're gonna see Thurman again, y'all?
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah. You know, I would like that style matchup of Virgil Ortiz and fucking Sean Porter, though. I was talking about that a couple of days ago, man. That shit would be fun. That'd be fun. And why ain't they pressuring fucking Spence to fight Ortiz? Why Ortiz got to fight fucking Bud? It's like at least put some pressure on him because, I mean, that would sell. That'd be a big hell of a fight.
Because he may not be in the same rankings. Maybe he is, but he's closer to Terrence in ranking than
Hey,
Spence.
was Mikey in the rankings?
I have no idea. I don't really follow the rankings, but I do know that Sean Porter and Ortiz is pretty close to Bud, so I'm not exactly sure. I've been hearing rumors that Bud may fight Josecito Lopez, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
That's a fight nobody wants. I'd rather him fight Ortiz rather than a Lopez.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I don't really want to see that. I'll watch it, but I don't want to see it. It's a decent
Lopez
fight.
Is a vet now. He's good.
He can fight. I ain't got a problem with that. I'm just saying it's just kind of like a fight that nobody wants to see, though. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody clamoring for that fight. I mean, it'll be a good fight. I think it'll beat expectations of the performance, but I'm not looking forward to that shit at all.
Right. Well, when you're in Bud Crawford's situation, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
You right about that.
Right. Because, okay, if you fight Josecito Lopez, nobody wanted to see that. But then if he fights the youngin' and just say he beats him,
he's green.
The guy was too green. So if the young boy beats him, he was
a hype job.
Lopez. So you're in a and I think that goes with any fighter. You know, you just depending on who you are, because
Mhm.
Bud is like, he's not the most, people love him or hate him.
Yeah,
I enjoy fights though.
yeah, I
I
enjoy his fights as well. I enjoy watching his fights because I think that's a mean motherfucker. He that mean
mean,
dude that everybody claiming that they are. He actually does that shit. He goes in there and he just tries to get these motherfuckers gone. You know what I mean? He
right?
like, I'm gonna get this motherfucker out of here. You know, and I think he should let it happen a little more naturally too. But I think he'll have a lot more success. Although he's having plenty of success, I just feel like sometimes he tries a little too hard to impress, and it
Yeah.
takes you out of your element. You know what I
Right,
mean?
and then he doesn't like to do interviews, so he doesn't. I see him joking around a lot with like his people, and I
Yeah,
think he's comfortable with the people that he be around. I see him and Andre Ward has a good relationship, and Shakur Stevenson, Jamal, what's his name? Jamel Herring
yeah,
and Bo Mack and all of them. So I see he seems to be kind of, and his friend Bernie and all of them. But maybe he has his guard up when he does interviews or whatever. So I'm not sure. Everybody's not media trained or savvy or can just, you know, I don't know, and I'm not trying to figure it out. I just look at him what he do in the ring. Everybody's not going to
right.
be
Yeah,
you
not
know,
everybody gonna
uh,
be, not everybody
that
gonna have that.
charismatic type
Right,
of that Tyson Fury type of even though I think a lot of his stuff is corny, but I just think it's like he knows how to kind of do interview. He just has his way about things,
right.
and it's kind of off center with the comedy, but he's kind of a really intelligent guy. You could tell. You know,
Yeah, I
he
definitely
knows
agree
how
with
to
you.
rise to the occasion.
Right, right. He knows that he don't fold under pressure when it comes to promoting. You know what I mean? But then you got some people who don't fold under. You got people
Remember
who
we
don't. Oh, go ahead. You do got
remember when
some.
he came to America and he had on that jacket and he was walking around that stage and your big dasa and all. I was like, what in the hell?
Yeah.
That was
He
some
was stopping
stuff.
people. He was like, "Do you know who Deontay Wilder is?" And they were
That was
like, "No." He was like, "They don't even know who you are in your own country." I was like, "Yeah, because boxing ain't big like that." You know what I mean?
And when he
So
said that shit, I was like, this guy's funny.
no, Eddie Hearn did that first though. That was kind of messed up.
yeah, Ortiz
No.
versus Ugas too would be a hell of a
Yeah.
fight. But I mean, Ugas got that Spence fight. Why even go that route? But if you rule boxing, I get it. Yeah, I think that would be a good step up fight too. You know what I mean? Like, I think that his last fight was a good step up fight, but I think that this would be a lot better for him. To be honest with you, Ugas fight will put him over that hump because Ugas been in there with these top notch guys at welterweight and put on a hell of a performance. Arguably won against the biggest name he been in there with. So, yeah, man, I think Ugas being slept on. I think that dude was a problem. From the first time I seen him fight, I was like, this dude's a fucking problem. He's big as fuck. He's accurate as hell. He's a Cuban fighter, so you know what I mean? He got good pedigree. And I'm like, yeah, this dude gonna be a problem. This dude's a problem, man. He got some moves in there, but I think he presses himself in there too to try to please the crowd. You know what I mean? Because he gotta fight for more, you know, he got to fight for more. He not American, but he trying to get the American crowd. He got to get the crowd behind him and make people remember him more so than a lot of these other fighters do. So he got to pour it out. He got a lot to prove out there, you know. So yeah, I enjoy watching Ugas fight. I tune in for all his fights. A high shot. Yeah, then Ortiz. It should be first in line for a title fight. I agree. But I'm not mad at Ortiz. Next time, I'm never gonna miss an Ortiz fight. You know what I mean? That dude come to fight. He come to scrap. You know what I mean? He come to scrap it up. He looking for the straps. He's showing dedication. He calling out the big guys. That's what you're supposed to do. So far, so good, man. You know what I mean? So far, so good. I felt like fucking Ortiz. Who was the other Ortiz that was Golden Boy and fucked this shit up? Kid, I thought that kid was talented as shit.
Who?
I almost forgot his name. Victor. He just didn't have a heart for the game, man. Like he just went completely fucking show business, man.
You know,
Honest.
you know, I had my eye on that night was, I think is the light heavyweight kid. Oh no, the cruiserweight kid. He beat Dustin Long. He knocked out Dustin Long in the first round, right?
Mhm.
And Dustin Long's the same guy that slept, Marcellus Wilder, and
Oh, yeah,
crippled
yeah.
on his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's Dustin Long, and this kid, I forget his name. He's a light skinned kid. I forget his name, man, but he's
I know
good.
what you're talking about, though.
You know what I'm talking about, right? He's like 6'5",
Yep.
real good, real strong, real athletic, man. Did a backflip and everything after the fight was over. You know, a la Tio.
Yeah, he can move up too.
Move up,
I don't know who that is.
you're gonna see this kid. He's gonna be a fucking problem, man. He's gonna be really, really good. I just have a
Coley?
feeling that this, he's like 19 or 20 or something. He's real young, really big, strong kid, and really young. So you know he's gonna fill out pretty good, and he's gonna go to heavyweight. He's not gonna fuck with no cruiserweight for that long. Because
And he ain't even got his man strength yet.
He don't even got his mass, but he got a lot of strength though still. But
right,
it's just scary because the way he put out Dustin Long, and Dustin Long isn't no pushover. This guy, mixed MMA guy, kickboxer, he's a journeyman, but at the same time, Dustin Long isn't no pushover. You understand what I'm saying? Like he's definitely a guy that comes to fight, and he completely obliterated Dustin Long. So you got to watch out for this kid. I forget his name. I think one of you guys in the chat would know who I'm talking about. He has a curly hair, light skinned guy. I think you guys got to look out for him, man.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of his name, man. I'll be having that shit. That comes with age.
But really thought Dustin Long was gonna give this kid some problems. I'm like, you know what, this kid, let's see if this kid's a hype job, and shit, shut me the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Said let Broner fight Ortiz. Broner ain't gonna fight Ortiz.
No, Broner's gonna fucking shit.
What's going on, Tony Reviews?
What's up, man? Saw you live, just showing you support.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for
Hey,
showing.
Tony.
What's going on?
What's going on, man? What's your thoughts on everything we chopping it up about?
I don't even know what y'all are talking about. I just seen you live, so I jumped
on. Okay, cool. But here's the thing, though, Angel. I'm not sure if some people mature real fast and they don't get no bigger, man. I remember pushing the motherfucker off with a beard on a sled. That motherfucker had a beard in elementary school, and I was like, he was trying to bully me and shit. And I was like, I'm push this. I let him get in front of me and shove that motherfucker off the sled.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, hey man, shit. Yeah, that motherfucker had a beard. I was just a kid, man. I was like, this grown ass man, and you know them grown ass men that would be in like 6th grade, and you like this big motherfucker fuck with me. His mom was a leche too. They tried to jump me after school.
Damn.
Yeah, it was all good. Yo, it was all good till my mom showed up. Yeah, then she was like, "Oh nah." She knew my mom immediately. She deaded it right there. I was like, "Yeah, mom's a gangster." But anyway, what's going on, Tony Reviews, man? Yeah, we was talking about we was just talking about do you know who the is it? He's not like heavyweight, he's a cruiserweight, right? Angel?
He's a cruiserweight. Yeah, he's a
The
cruiserweight.
dude who just won on the I think the zone card that fought who had already knocked out or the dude that he fought is the guy who beat Deontay Wilder's brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The light-skinned kid. He's strong, man. He's big. He's like 6'5".
The only guy, like the last guy that knocked out Deontay Wilder's brother, I thought had like a few losses on his record already.
Yeah, Dustin Long.
Yeah, he just got slept by the kid that we talking about. We just can't think of the guy's name.
Let me see.
I don't think I saw the fight. If I did, I didn't really recognize it while it was happening. Because the dude who slept his brother didn't look that good.
But he got slept. That's for damn sure.
And this is cruiserweight. Yeah.
Yeah, you saying the guy that fought, the guy that knocked out Wilder's brother, knocked that dude out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, the guy who knocked out Wilder's brother got knocked out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
Y'all are trying to figure out who the guy was that knocked him out.
Yeah. But anyway, the dude's like 19. He got decent power. Actual was just dropping jewels about the kid, and he was like, he thinks this dude is the real deal. Yeah, and I wouldn't doubt it, man, because he definitely moving right. He doing what he's supposed to do against the people we in there with now, you know. So I mean, yeah, hopefully the sky's the limit for the kid. That's facts, man. So so you hyped about Undisputed Tony reviews between Taylor and Ramirez?
Yeah, I've been on it. You know, I've been saying that I think Josh Taylor was going to win it for a long time now, and I'm happy that it's happening.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm happy it's happening too. I'm rolling with Ramirez in the fight, but at the same time, I'm like, shit, man. I wouldn't be surprised if it go to fucking Taylor because Taylor bad as fuck. I just feel like pressure burst pipes, man.
Yeah,
but
you know, Regis put a lot
of pressure on him too. Yep.
Yeah. Here's my thing. The only thing that makes me a little apprehensive with Josh Taylor is this. He was outboxing Regis Prograis with no issues, right? But he wasn't satisfied with beating him like that. He had to beat him at his own game, so he turned it into a brawl. Now, that's what makes me apprehensive about him, because for him, it seems like it's not good enough if he beats you at what he does best. He wants to do what you do best, which is going to play into Ramirez's hands.
Right, so, bravado. It's the bravado. That's his downfall. Yep.
Yeah,
and that's what I was saying too earlier. I was like, he's good on the inside. He's really good on the inside, but it's not his niche. So why give that opportunity? I said, but the other reason why I'm picking Ramirez is because Ramirez's jab, I think, can get him inside. I think it's possible. Like, I think he can work his way inside. And then once he gets inside, I think that Taylor gonna, revert to mixing it up with him. Like, you ain't gonna bully me, motherfucker. And he gonna stand in. He gonna give Ramirez every opportunity. And I think them little uppercuts gonna be, I think they're gonna be successful in the bout. I think they're gonna work.
Yeah, I can see that. It all comes down to how Taylor's going to fight him, in my opinion. I feel like after watching Ramirez with post out, he and seeing other fights with him, he only really fights one way. He's not very adaptable. So if Taylor keeps him on the outside, like keeps him at bay and moves around him like he can, I think he could outbox him easily. But if he turns it into a brawl like he's known to do, then it's a different question of who wins. So I think Taylor will beat him, but this is not one I'm 100% sure, because I don't know what he's going to do or how he's going to
approach it. Yep, I totally agree. But I'm banking on that, though. I'm going to bank on that because I think Taylor going to be the favorite. And shout out to Actual Facts that came through. And if you ain't subscribed to that dude, go ahead and do that, man. That dude's straight fire, man. And that's what he do. He be dropping actual facts. Shout out to Angel Santos. No doubt about it. And of course, Lisa Bells and Tony Reviews. Go ahead and sub to Tony Reviews, all four of you.
Oh, I don't have I don't do content.
I know, but I shouted you out. I didn't send anybody to your non-existent channel.
Oh, okay. Now I was saying, yeah,
But you know
I
what? If
wish
you
I
have
could
one,
be like
if
you guys,
you
but
know
I
what,
just
if
I ain't
you,
got it in me.
hey, you do though. If you gonna hop on these lives, why don't you just get your own lives popping?
Nah, I don't have the temperament.
Sure you do. Sure you do. When you get you know, when you get hyped about something and someone giving AJ some problems, you get on there and you go out there and you rep AJ.
Nah, but I wouldn't do that though on a channel. I wouldn't do that. I
What would
wouldn't
you
want like I wouldn't if I had a channel. I really would try to be as unbiased as I can and not like give my opinions on stuff.
But you know when
Like
people is
I
capping
would just
though.
prefer. Yeah, but
When it's unjustified though. When it's unjustified and people just capping for nothing and they just pushing nothing but horse shit. You know what I mean? And you be like, this is bullshit. You know what I mean?
Chris Angel, mind
Yeah.
David Blaine, trap dog, horse shit jumping off here.
We don't do that here.
I would just prefer just tell the news in my own way, and I don't do the editing like you guys do. So I think that's cool, the editing.
Well, I
part.
can help. I
'Cause that's
can
the
help you with that.
creativity.
I could even give you some if you want.
Right.
If you want, if you
That's
ever do
just-
that, just hit me up, Lisa. I'll help you out with whatever you need.
But if I ever want to do it, I know you. I got my little bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I
I'm right
just,
here.
just answering all of those comments, and it's just I give you guys the utmost respect. All the content creators. Don't think I don't. I really
Yeah.
do.
And shout out to Big Boys too. Big Boys Boxing. I'll be seeing you on
Yeah,
there with the little
definitely.
fight night. He even be doing a little fight night thing. I'll be checking out every once in a while. I'll be on that shit. But I don't think you could cross play in that. I got the PS3 and the PS4, so I ain't got the 5. I think I'm done with it after that. You know what I mean? Unless my kids pull it out and I like something, then I might just do it. I don't know, man.
Right.
Habs in the building. If they come out with a boxing game, then I'm definitely going to do it. They need to, man. This
Talking
shit
about-
is ridiculous, man.
Yeah, they need another
I-
boxing game. Yeah.
Yeah, what up, Tony?
I said you talking about for the PS5?
Yeah.
They got one coming out. It's called Esports Boxing Club or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
okay.
gotta have it gotta have some. I want some fighters though, man. I want that.
They
I
got-
want EA to pull the shit out.
They got a whole shit ton. They got Terrence Crawford. They got
Oh no shit.
Ortiz. I don't even know the list. Like they've been like getting fighter after fighter after fighter after fighter.
You know what was
Nice.
cool about the last one that they did back in the days,
You talk-
2000
EA?
Fight Night Champion,
Yeah,
that you could motherfuckers was creating fighters and then putting it out there, and you could download the motherfuckers for free.
well, not just that, but EA had a cool thing where if you had the PlayStation Eye, you could make your own face in the game. Like the camera would capture you, and you would be the character.
Oh yeah, I got that shit. I had got that shit. I got all my kids got
Wow.
a fighter. Yeah, they all got a little fighter and shit. I
Yeah.
got my little shit. Problem is that I didn't like the online shit too much because the motherfuckers be spamming, doing the same shit, same style. I
Nah.
like, you know what I mean? I don't dig that shit.
Nah, what I didn't like about it is you'll whoop somebody, and right before it ends or you knock them out, they disconnect. So
They
you don't-
cut out,
and they
yeah,
don't get the loss.
and you don't get no points for that shit because it builds your
Nothing.
fighter up. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah, they didn't work. You right about that. I remember that shit. I'm pretty sure Big Boy Boxing knows about that shit. Triple B knows about that shit.
So
He
let
said
me
this
ask
food- come
a
on.
question.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Let me ask a question. So if these they using these fighters, right? Like whoever they are, popular, I mean, just the famous fighters, they have to pay them, right, for that?
Yeah, that's why Mayweather wasn't on that shit. But they made him. They made him. Yeah, you gotta pay him.
Because I remember the Mike Tyson knockout, but that was Mike Tyson, so I know he made a lot of money from that. I would hope.
Yeah, it was Punch Out. They had that prior too. It used to be in the arcades and shit. And then they had like the Ring King shit with the dudes with the afros and shit. And they had some other shit, yeah. But you know what I wanted that I've never seen in a boxing game, like the realistic EA Sports joints, is where you could get a motherfucker like knock him, where you stick him on the ropes or knock him out the ring. I was like, that's something that they should have did, man, where you could knock motherfucker out the ring. I think that's just dope. Couple things.
Oh yeah.
You try to knock them out like Joe Swift knocked out Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yo, he did it. Yo, he did it. He did it to fucking Alvarez too.
Yeah.
To Alida Alvarez.
He did.
I was like, yeah. You ain't see that shit? Joe Smith knocked him out the ring.
Yeah. I did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he hit hard, man.
Yep.
So they're trying to get the winner out of him and fuck, I forget who he's fighting next to fight on Better Beef.
Mm-hmm. That should be a good fight though. But yeah, I want to see him in Better Beef, man. I want to see him in Better Beef. What you think about Better Beef's last performance? I know he's a little rusty, but what you think about that shit?
I think that's all it was. He was just rusty. He didn't look the same, but I think he'd been out of the ring for almost 2 years, like close to it. So I mean, that's a lot of ring rust. Like COVID really messed these dudes up. And you know, during this whole COVID, we've seen a lot of champions lose their belts due to inactivity.
Hey, you know what? I think Bivol gonna whip that ass if they get in the ring. That's just my take on it.
I don't like Bivol. He's a fucking dirty ass fighter. Like
what?
He elbows, he headbutts, he's dirty as fuck. Watch him fight.
I do watch him fight. That's all I do. I watch that motherfucker live against I watched him against
dirty.
He ain't dirty, man.
Yeah, bruh. He'll hit you with forearms, like, bruh. You watching him live, like you watching him live in person.
Nah, I watch his shit. I got a highlight video. It's the highest. I think it's got like 25,000 fucking views. Yeah, man, I watched that motherfucker fight. If you doing highlight videos, you watching everything. You know, I like his style. I like his feet at light heavyweight. Like I don't see light heavyweights move like he moves with his feet, and then get in and get out the way he does, and get the combinations off. You know what I mean?
Fight. There's no question. He's very skilled, but the motherfucker's still dirty.
He ain't dirty, man.
He dirty. He dirty. he not a weight dirty, but he's dirty.
I don't know the way dude hit with like he hit him with like the side part of his glove and barely nicked him and rocked him, and I'm just like, damn. If anyone could suspect somebody of having egg weights in their gloves, it'd be Better Beef, man. That motherfucker barely. The 2 times he rocked him in that fight, I was like, he barely touched that motherfucker. He's super heavy-handed or egg weight promotions.
I'm gonna tell you, if Better Beef can back him up, he could beat him, because he's never been like, I've never seen anybody back up Arthur. He just pushes straight through him. I think the first guy who's strong enough to back him up is going to beat him, because his legs aren't going to be able to take it, and you're going to see him gas.
Who's that? Better Beef?
Yeah, Arthur Better Beef. Somebody back him up, he'll lose. I guarantee you the first guy who backs him up beats him.
Yeah, I think the first guy who actually puts more than a 2 or 3 punch combination on him and continues to follow up, and I admire their work, is going to do it, because I noticed that he'll be a little rocked, but he'll fake that shit and put the pressure on you, and you like, oh shit, I just hit this man with my best shot. And my coaches, I tell my kids all the time, like, yeah, I hit this dude. I remember my son came in, he was like, I hit him with a solid shot, and he ate that shit. And I was like, He ate it. He's like, I was like, they keep feeding him. Shit, keep giving it to him. Shit, don't admire your work. I was like, that's what you was doing. You was admiring your work. You're like, yeah, that shit landed flush. Oh shit, he's still there. I was like, no. Just let them hands go, man. Shit, once you got him like that, it's a little. Once you landed clean, it's a little more difficult to defend yourself because you got them out of position. You know what I mean? When they head whip back, then you got. But it's a learning process of throwing certain combinations. When it lands, boom, da 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 da. You know what to do when you're doing it. Go to the body, shit. You know what I mean?
Tell you who look like has trouble with that. Ortiz. Whenever Hooker was letting his hands go, it was really messing him up. I'm in like this long argument with this troll on my channel, and I'm trying to tell, like, I like Virgil Ortiz. I just think he needs a couple of more fights before you put him in there with Bud, because I think it's gonna ruin him. He's gonna knock him out.
Yeah, I think he probably stop him too. The issue with that situation is what I noticed early in the fight, like with Hooker, like we already picked apart what Hooker was doing wrong. You know, from the outside, you know, we ain't actually in there, but you know, he wasn't moving side to side, and he wasn't moving and letting his punches go. He would let his punches go and then try to move, but he would move straight back. But what Ortiz was doing wrong was he wasn't moving his head for like a few rounds, where I was like, yo, he needs to start moving his head. Then he made the adjustments a little later in the fight, but he ain't gonna get away with shit like that with Bud. Because he does that shit on the fly.
You gotta understand too. Hooker was just knocked out 2 fights ago at 140.
With the same style.
Yeah, and the next fight was also at 140. Granted, he got a TKO victory, but then he goes up from 140 and fights a knockout artist at 147. Like, I already knew he was gonna get knocked out. It was just a matter of when. But
right, I was hoping he proved me wrong. I said it too. I was like, Hooker gonna get hooked off on.
Yeah,
I said, but it could be, and that was the if factor for me, was he could have been starving himself at 140, and 147 might be a better spot for him. But to be honest with you, he's starving himself at 147 too. Did you see him at the weigh-in, even though he made weight?
Yeah,
did you see how he was reacting?
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, like he didn't move his eyes and his head. He moved his whole body, but it was kind of like involuntary movement, like he had to move everything just to get it across. And I'm like, damn, this dude is starving the shit out of us. That can't be good for him.
Well, you know, he's like 5'11". He's tall for that
right
weight.
Right, but I think he's just a way bigger guy, and I think that every time I seen him at 140 fight, like I watched him, I forgot who he fought, but he fought at the Turner Stone. I watched him live that night. And I was like, I think it was at the Bivol fucking fight with Joe Smith. And I was like, there was a lot of hype around Hooker, and I was like, yo, he lost that fight. I thought he lost. And he looked lethargic. And it took him 3-4 rounds to start really, even though he was getting off, there wasn't no snap on his shots. And I think he falls in love with the fact that he could put motherfuckers to sleep with his right hand. And when he can't put him to sleep, he still sits down on his shots, as to like, I think Lisa was saying it. He don't move and launch the jab. Sideways, whatever. I mean, I don't know, man. I think he thinks that he could get these guys out of there, and he trades with them, you know. And I think that might be Taylor's problem. I think that might pay dividend later in Taylor's career if he don't figure that shit out. That, I mean, he's good on the inside, but it's like, why are you there?
No. See, I agree. I don't think Ramirez. I mean, it's good. Like I said, it all depends on how he fights the fight. I just don't think Ramirez is going to be the one, but I do agree with this. I think eventually Josh Taylor is going to try to do what somebody else does better than them, and he's not going to be able to, and it's going to catch up, and he's going to get his ass whooped because he tries to fight somebody else's style, and they're just too good at their own style that he can't match it. He's going to put himself into a compromising situation and get found. Like, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. That's the bravado. That's Taylor's issue, man. That's his Achilles. Because he's good on the inside, but it's not his niche. And shout out to him for trying to make it his niche and making it. Because when I was watching that fight between him and Prograis, I was like, damn, like, why is he doing that? But at the same time, he was successful. And I think it shocked Prograis that he was so successful on the inside. You know what I mean? And Prograis kind of like he's an ambush fighter. He's in and out, but he likes to be on the inside. He doubted that anyone would stand in there and trade with him. And when he had a guy in there trading with him, he did damage. You know what I mean? I mean, look at Taylor's face, but Taylor pulled off the dub. It was a close fight. You know, it was a tight fight. They both went in there to win that fight. And Taylor did it outside of his hometown too. So, you know what I mean? I think that could have had something to do with it. But Taylor's just showed me a lot. This guy outside, inside, like this dude he's the real deal. But I'm just saying, why go away from your niche and then you know what I mean? You can surprise them motherfuckers if you can't get out of it. You know what I mean? Where you're stuck in the corner and you can't really get off, or the dude closes off the ring on you, and then you like, surprise, motherfucker, got you, pow, you know? And they're like, oh shit, what was that? Now you back outside again, pumping that jab. Kind of like what Hooker was doing. So, I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight, man. And we're getting an undisputed fight. And that's that if factor with both fighters. I'm excited about it. You know, I'm excited about it. I actually got it in an up-and-coming video. I got a video coming out soon and an edit. It's been a while, but I've been trying to put a little more work into the shit, but I just been trying to find time to finish the shit. Once I get the finishing touches on it, man, yeah, y'all in for a treat. Y'all in for a treat this time around, man.
I'm gonna say this though for you, for your boy Tio, I think it would be in his best interest if Ramirez won, because I think he has an easier time with Ramirez than he does Taylor.
I totally agree.
If Ramirez beats Taylor, I would not rule out Tio beating Ramirez. But if Taylor beats Ramirez, I think that stylistically is very bad for Teofimo Lopez, especially if he goes up there for his first fight at 140.
But the difference is, though, I mean, you could say what you want about Prograis, hell of a fighter. The motherfucker is, you know, he hits hard. He does got skills, no doubt about it. Like, I do want to see him in
I want to see him
Broner fight.
Yeah, Broner all day.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
Broner will get his ass whooped. I'm sorry, he will get his ass whooped if he gets in there, because he doesn't let his hands go. When Prograis will tee off on him all night long.
When Tank was talking about fighting Prograis, I was like, that's a bet. That dude is too big. If your guys was in the same weight class, you know what I mean? I might lean towards you, but no. You're 5'5", and this man was, I don't see that. I don't see much success for Tank in that fight.
I don't.
But the thing about Taylor and Tio is extremely explosive. Extremely explosive. He kept a guy. I mean, I know he had issues with Nakatani. You know, I know he had some issues with Lomachenko, but there were moments in all them fights where them motherfuckers wouldn't even let a punch go. You know what I mean? So, like, they just, oh, man, I got to keep these motherfuckers at home. So, Tio, I think Tio's a fucking problem. Tio's a problem. And if he maintains that shit and he keeps excelling and working on his game, man, that dude's going to be a fucking problem, man. If his ego don't get the best of him.
I think I have no doubts that he could be a problem. However, I think it's a big bill for him to try to pay off to move up to 140 and fight whoever the undisputed champion is in his first fight moving up. I think that's a big jump. there's a lot of talent there, and a lot of them dudes are very, very good. And I think you would need at least 1 or 2 fights to get acclimated to the bigger guys, the harder punchers. You know, I just think that.
Check this out, Tony. He's gonna have to. You think he's gonna be able to just jump up and fight those guys?
That's what he said. He
Right,
said
that's what he said back in the days. But Bob ain't gonna let that shit happen. And those are both his fighters.
Bob. He done left Bob. He said he Triller all day. He
Right,
said,
right. But what exactly? But those guys are under Bob, ain't they?
No, Triller's their own promotion company.
No. Ramirez and Taylor.
I thought Taylor was with Eddie Hearn.
Is he?
I thought it was the Zone.
No, they both with Bob. He already said that he don't think you're gonna get that winner of Taylor Ramirez.
Yeah, he's a bitter old Mr. Magoo fucking
What it comes down to, it all comes down to the motherfucker is salty because Tio won't give Loma a rematch. That's all it is. That's all it comes back to. He's got some hard on for Lomachenko, and because Tio didn't give him the rematch, now he's trying to fuck him over.
Bob Humbug Promotions. That dude is just just a hater. Hate on your own fighters. Hate on the fans. Hate on big fights. Hate on, God damn, that dude. That just a bitter old man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we so he would have to get 2 fights in, and if they left Top Rank, you know what I mean, or if he earned his shot at 140, then Bob couldn't do anything because it would go to purse bid.
Well,
if he was a Mando.
He could force a purse bid if he moved up and wanted to fight them because he's undisputed. I think what is it, the WBA? He's automatically in contention to fight the champion for mandatory. Like I believe it's the WBA that forces it if you're undisputed. So they would either have to fight him or get stripped.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. You believe you me, Bob gonna be like Bob ain't gonna be preaching he's undisputed. He's gonna become a Devin Haney fan because he hates Teal so much. He's gonna be knocking the WBC because he's a bitter old piece of dog shit.
Yeah, but Devin's at 135. If Teal goes up, is undisputed because that's
but he ain't gonna consider him the WBC champion. But he is the champion for other. I mean, he is contender for other belts. So if he exercises those belts, maybe he can do it. Like what you were saying, I hope so. But then it becomes a voluntary, not a mandatory. It's still a voluntary. So he can still knife that fight. He can still stop that fight. He can kill that fight.
Pretty sure that when you're undisputed, if you choose to go up in weight, the WBA puts you ahead of all their fighters. You become their automatic mandatory for the champion. That's how Usyk.
Is it right? But is it really a mandatory or is it a voluntary?
No, it's not a voluntary. That's how Usyk became the automatic mandatory for Joshua, and Eddie Hearn has done everything he can to fuck him over, so he couldn't get it. But if the WBA stresses it, they could actually strip Ramirez or Taylor of that belt and put Tio versus whomever for that title.
Nah, you know what, Tony? You may be correct. You know what I mean? And I hope you are.
WBO.
Because I want to see that shit.
I think it's
happen.
the WBO.
I just don't want to get my hopes up and Bob squash that shit like he been doing for fucking everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just don't want to get my hopes up for this shit. I want to stay positive about shit, but with this negative motherfucker around, that should be like, it's a little difficult.
And the easiest way, though, to be honest with you, the easiest way to get a champion to fight you is just become the mandatory in the IBF because they'll force it. Like, they don't play no games. They don't do no bullshit. Like, they'll strip somebody super fast. They're the only ones notorious for stripping people if they don't fight their mandatories.
I'll put it like this. If you fight Devin Haney, there's no question that shit can happen. He can take any sanctioned body he wants.
He'll beat Devin Haney. Like, that won't even be competitive.
But I want that fight to happen. I picked Tio in that fight, but I do feel like that'll clear it all up. and I can consider this man undisputed for real. And then to move up, and if he does pull that off, become undisputed in two different fucking divisions, that's historic. You know what I mean?
And it definitely would be historic, considering that he'd be double undisputed, and he beat the guy who seemed like he was the next guy in Lomachenko. Like
in like 20 fights.
Yeah, like
double undisputed.
In what? 22, 23 years old.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You know what I mean? That's fantastic, man.
But I'm gonna let you know though, I am pulling for Kambosos. I found out that he was Greek. We don't have no Greek fighters. So even though I know he's gonna get his ass whooped, I'm hoping he wins.
Really? You're Greek?
All righty.
Are you Greek, or are you just pushing for a Greek fighter because there's no Greek fighters?
No, I'm Greek. I'm 100% Greek.
Oh, I thought you was Italian.
Nah.
Or Sicilian.
Oh, I'm Greek.
Well, then there you go. You might have yourself a Greek champion. I don't see it happening, but hey, if it does, it does.
Wish.
You know, you can wish. Yeah. Shout out to everybody out there that got a dream. Maybe it comes true, because life is crazy like that. You might be surprised.
I don't.
You know, yeah. Hey, T.O. might go in there and be like, I'm gonna wipe this dude, clean this dude's clock, and you know how that shit go.
Yeah,
Hype train come to a crashing halt when you like that.
Yeah, but the problem with Kambosos is it doesn't look like he's got enough pop on his punches to keep somebody like T.O. back.
Mm-hmm. But you never know in boxing, man.
Hey, 1-2 Kid, I gotta wash my hair. I'll come back, okay?
Yeah, enjoy, have some fun, relax, kick back. For real, go do your thing.
All right, Tony's dude, 1-2 Kid.
All right,
thanks for having me.
Yep, it's difficult for me not to answer people when they say Tony, because that's my name. So I'll be like, yeah. So I do the same thing. So when Tony Reviews on there, it's just odd. You know what I'm saying? It's odd. I enjoy the combo with him, but when people are like, yeah, Tone, and I almost want to answer, and I always got to catch myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but it is what it is. But shout out to Dr. Mario, Toby Bartlett. Any other fights? Yo, do you think Fury and fucking AJ gonna go down? I certainly hope so. I want that shit to go down too.
I don't know, because Tyson Fury's so wishy-washy, but I know they announced that they had 30 days, so they probably got like 20-something days, low 20s now. So I'm really hoping that it happens. If it doesn't, I don't know
who you think gonna be the favorite in that fight. I mean, in Vegas, I
think Fury beats him.
I think Fury beats him if he's 100%, and we see, you know what I mean, like if he's on his A game, I think Fury can pull it off. But it's the heavyweight division, and AJ is on the mid range, man, and a little long range, man. That motherfucker pop, and he's explosive.
I'm gonna be honest with you, 1-2 Kid. I believe if Fury went on a powder sniffing spree and gained 300 more pounds, he would still beat AJ.
Really?
I think he's just. I just think
talented.
That it's just going to be too hard. Like, I think he's too agile and too rangy for AJ to be able to do anything.
You know what I think is gonna hurt AJ if Tyson Fury's 100%? Those motherfucking feints. Because people don't be throwing feints in the heavyweight division. You ever notice that?
Well, yeah.
They don't be fainting, and that motherfucker will faint. And when them motherfuckers bite, he gonna get off on them, and he got a longer reach, and he's limber for his size. I think Tyson Fury is a fucking problem for any heavyweight. And I said it a while back. I was like, I don't know if I was on BDA's live. It was like some years ago, and I was like, if that motherfucker decide to come back, he gonna fuck up the money cart for everybody.
Well, the thing too,
and he did.
Yeah, he did. But the thing about him too is he doesn't just faint; he also bobs and weaves. Like, he's tall.
Right now he can move.
What? Like,
I'm just saying, like, but the feints, you know, with that, if you put all that in there, his foot, like his foot movement, the fact that he could bounce around the ring the way he does at the size that he is, and then, I mean, he didn't just walk Wilder down like everyone says. Oh, he just walked him down and beat him up. He feinted, and fucking Wilder bit on every fucking feint that he threw. And I'm like, and when he did that shit, then he could just come inside and do whatever, because now he gotta go from defense to offense, and we know he's not a counter puncher. So what you got is, and not many fucking heavyweights are, you know, maybe in moments, but for fucking 12 rounds or round after round after round, if they biting on them feints, these is bigger guys. That energy, they drain themselves. You know what I mean? You know, preparing for that shot. And when you doing that, then he could close in on you. He's just a limber, big motherfucker. So, and he got good speed, good pop, and he can move, and he got skills, and he knows how to use that shit. So yeah, I got him pulling it off too.
The other thing too that he was doing really well to Deontay Wilder was he was punching to the outside of his face to force Deontay Wilder to go to the right side to move into his power. Like he constantly kept him moving where he wanted him to move with the jab. And I don't really see AJ setting up shots like that. I see AJ more of a straight line type fighter, to where he's got a good 1-2, but it's not a one that's going to push you into a lateral movement to run you into the right hand. He pretty much is like pop, 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 pop. When he sets it up, it's straight down the pipe, but it's no real setting it up to trap you into a move you don't want to make.
He's just a massive guy that's explosive, but he's basic. And basic is good. Basic is good, especially if you got talent and size behind it. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Like, when this dude goes to the high guard, when fucking Fury starts to get off, because whether you respect this man's power or not, you do realize once you're in the ring with the motherfucker that this is like close to a 300-pound man, and he's 6 foot fucking forever. And you're like, oh shit, like this dude is massive.
Well, here's the thing, 1-2. I think Fury's power is very underrated, because I was on other channels, right? And I keep saying this, like, he's had 10 total fights to where he didn't get knockouts, right? However, out of those 10 fights, he rematched 3 of those guys and knocked them all out in the rematch. So really, it's only been 7 people he hasn't knocked out that he's fought. And yes, it's about Tio Winnie Wide to answer that.
Reviews does, not mine.
but that's the thing about it. Like, out of 30 fights, so that's 30 fights, 3 gone. Out of 27 different people, he's knocked out 20 of them. Like, the dude's got power if he's stopping almost everybody he's fought.
Right. But the thing with, you know what? I'll be rooting for AJ. I put my money on Fury, but I'll be rooting for AJ, because if Tyson Fury beats AJ,
he'll retire.
He's gonna fucking retire, man.
He is.
Everybody knows it. This erratic motherfucker, and he reminds me a lot of myself in some ways, because I'm like that. You know, I'm either way up here, way down here, whatever, side to side. And but yeah, I like the dude, but I like the way AJ moves. He's consistent. He's trying. You know what I mean? He held on to them 3 belts like fucking forever. He got stopped, came back, made adjustments, and I think he deserves it. You know, Tyson Fury pulled it off. I was like, yeah, I picked him in the fight against Klitschko, and then I didn't pick him against Wilder because he's so erratic in the second fight, but he definitely proved me wrong. But I just don't. I don't think it's good for boxing. Like, it is if he stayed champion, but he ain't gonna do it, man. That motherfucker, he gonna go to the WWE, man.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. If Tyson Fury beats AJ in the first fight, there will not be a rematch. He will retire like he did against Klitschko. Klitschko was supposed to get a rematch, and he retired. I really, especially if they talking about the money that he's gonna be getting, $100 million. Like that's the baseline. Like if he gets $100 million in the first fight, I'm telling you, something's gonna happen, and he's not gonna come back, and he's gonna ride off into the sunset. And then, I mean, I don't know. Like I don't know, because I mean, truthfully, he's never defended a title, and this kind of is a defense of a title, but not really because it's gonna be for undisputed. So if he wins undisputed, he'll still fall into he's never defended it, because I guarantee you this motherfucker retires and AJ will not get the get back. So I agree with you. I think AJ for boxing is the best candidate to win. I just don't think he can beat him.
Right. And you know what else is gonna suck? If AJ loses, then we're gonna have Deontay Wilder and AJ, and it's gonna start all over again.
Well, I don't think
Because they both gonna be coming off upsets, and it's gonna be like, well, I deserve this, and no, I deserve that. Now, if AJ was to pull it off, then I'm pretty sure Wilder's gonna submit to whatever the fuck is going on, and it's still gonna be a big fight, and there's still gonna be a massive payday for both fighters. But if he loses, I don't know if that fight happens. I would hope it would happen, but I just don't want like when we see the Bud and the Spence and the AJ and the Wilder prior to this shit, like they'd let that fucking massive payday, whoever you want to blame. You know, I kind of blame Wilder more so, but that's just me. But AJ has some shit to do with that too. And I just could see it going back into that tug of war. And they wasting all that energy fighting outside of the ring and won't even get in the ring with each other.
But I'm going to tell you one, too. It'll never come to that, because here's the problem. From how the WBC is moving, Wilder is going to have to fight the winner out of White and Povetkin. And that's the only way Deontay Wilder gets a shot back at AJ or Fury. And I'm going to be honest. I think Dillian White knocks him the fuck out. And if Dillian White can't get past Povetkin, I think Povetkin knocks him the fuck out. I think Wilder, if he goes the WBC route, either one of those guys is going to beat him, in my opinion. I really believe that.
You know what? I was rooting for fucking Dillian White against Wilder because I felt he deserved it. But the one thing about fucking Dillian White, he holds his fucking left hand so low naturally, and he's just open for that right hand. And if he gets tagged, come on, man. If other guys is putting this man to sleep, what do you think Wilder gonna do if he laying that fucking right hand?
But you got to understand, though, it's the punch that he's been susceptible to that's put him down. It's the uppercut. Wilder doesn't throw uppercuts like that. And the thing about it is,
he don't.
Deontay Wilder has one chance to let that right hand go to connect, because if he doesn't, Dillian White sticks to people like fucking glue. He is on top of them, and they never get away from him. Like Anthony Joshua couldn't get away from him. No fighter who's fought him has gotten out of his range. So it's very hard to throw that right hand with all the torque that Wilder does if you got a guy chest to chest with you up in your shit. And I don't think Wilder can get the power shot off if he misses that first shot.
I'm not gonna argue with you on that, Tony. I'm just saying, man, there's moments in the fight where fucking Dillian White gets laxed, and you can't do that you can't get laxed at all with Deontay Wilder, because he banks on that shit. That motherfucker won't even throw a shot. Like, he'll just throw a jab out there and do whatever. And if you giving him opportunities and you staying on the outside, or you get laxed like he did in his last fight, man. Yeah, but I really feel like Deontay Wilder is gonna knock Dillian White out. But I want to see it, and I'll be rooting for fucking Dillian White. But
here's the problem, one too. Everybody talks about Deontay Wilder knocking people out, but here's the issue with Deontay Wilder. How many true knockout artists, power punchers, has he actually fought at the high level?
Nah, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, like,
Right.
dealing. And the other thing, this is like, I think it's a great fight, but I just see it happening that way. The thing about Dillian White that a lot of people don't give him credit for, not the fact that he got boxing skills, not the fact that he's a dog in there and he's coming to fight every time, is the motherfucker got a reach. Like, he's not as tall as these guys, but his reach is deceptive as all fuck. And that's one of his problems. It's his successes, and his problem is he has a problem pulling them long ass arms back to defend himself. And I think that could be a problem.
Yeah,
I think
but
that could be a problem.
again, Deontay Wilder at the top level has not fought any true knockout artist. Like the hardest puncher he has fought to date would be Ortiz. And Ortiz's power, in my opinion, is very questionable. He didn't look that hard of a puncher against Brian Jennings, and he sure as hell didn't look like he had dynamite in his hands against Christian Hammer. So I'm very sus on how hard Ortiz hits, and I know Povetkin can definitely knock people out because he's a very good technical fighter. He knows how to place his shots. You know, a hard shot is all fine and dandy, but a well-placed shot with power hits a lot harder than just natural power. And Povetkin's very good at that. Dillian White hits extremely hard for the single shots. And Wilder's never been in there with a power puncher.
But the thing is, but Tony, though, listen, what I'm trying to say is you can't get lax with this guy. This dude, the one thing Deontay Wilder does do well is allows you to relax.
But my point,
like when these guys relax, you know what I mean? He lets them relax and then boom, he hits them. You know what I mean? And if this dude, and I'm pretty sure he learned from his last fight not to come in top heavy. And I'm pretty sure he running around giving his kids piggyback rides to get them legs right, because skipping leg day definitely didn't work in his favor.
Tyson Fury knocked this dude down from a body shot. We never in the history of any Tyson Fury fight seen him knock somebody down from a body shot, all right? We're talking about guys who can hit way harder than Tyson Fury. Also, even against Dominic Brazil, whenever he was whooping Dominic Brazil hit him a couple of times and made his ass wobble.
Right, but let's be real, Tony. Let's just be real. This man had added 20 pounds to his upper frame and probably lessened his lower frame. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't support his body in that fight. Literally, that man was about to fall prior to even getting hit with the body shot. You know what I mean? All it took was you got this dude off balance because he off balanced himself. Like, this dude is top heavy with, relying on sticks. You know what I mean? And when he hit this dude just fell. And then I'm pretty sure there was some neurological shit going on in that fight too. On top of that, because this motherfucker looked like he went through hell after like the third round, fourth round. He looked like he been through fucking like this motherfucker looked like he had nothing left. And I mean, he had heart, and thank God that motherfucker threw the towel in. But for everybody saying to let that man go out on the shield, man, fuck that shit.
My only point is, if that would have been AJ piecing them up like that, it would have never went that long. If it would have been Dillian White piecing them up like that, it would have never went that long. Even a Povetkin, who's about to fight him, because I'm just bringing up Povetkin because it's between them two for Deontay Wilder next. If he would have been piecing them up that bad, the fight would have ended. It wouldn't even have made it 4 rounds. He would have been out cold. What I'm trying to say is, yes, he has heart, but we've never, we know he can knock people out. But what happens when his chin is tested by somebody who can actually hit hard? We never seen him hit in the face by a knockout artist. And that's my only point.
That's a good point.
That's my only
point.
So
that's a good point, though.
We know that he can knock people out, but we also know he cannot fight backing up, or at least to this point, did not show the ability to know what to do when he was being pushed backwards. What's going to happen when he's moving backwards, being hit in the head by guys who can knock people out consistently at the highest level. That's my only question to him. I don't know if he can.
I got a question for you, Tony. Little off subject, but on subject, but different fighters.
All right.
Do you think Canelo stops Beterbiev? If
I
they
think
fight?
I think if he would have caught Beterbiev in that last fight, I think he could have drug it out late and possibly stopped him. But if Beterbiev can look like he's looked in the past, I don't know if Canelo is strong enough to deal with that.
Yeah, because he's a big dude. He's a big dude, and that pressure, pressure breaks pipes. But I think that's one of the things that a guy like Canelo relies on is pressure, and I think that's what his coach trains his fighters to deal with. Guys with longer reach and pressure, and they're explosive, and when you have guys with big power, that rely on pressure, it's not always the best thing. I think that Canelo's weakness is his feet.
Yeah,
when guys got a good set of feet, I think Beterbiev almost plays into his hands, because when he cuts off the ring, what he's gonna do is he's gonna try to get him in a certain spot, and what he's gonna get is he's gonna get a plate full of fists. Once he gets this motherfucker where he can't move, and then he slips a shot on the inside, I think, and he's accurate. And how many times you see motherfuckers go to the body hardcore on Beterbiev? And Canelo does that.
Here's the thing, though, about Beterbiev, in my opinion, and you could think differently, but to me, Beterbiev is a different type of power puncher. Like, he has extremely hard shots, but
yeah, he does.
He doesn't throw. Like, he throws hard shots, but not every shot is thrown at his full power. He can place them more than one together. He's not like a lot of power punchers to where they just wing one shot at a time. Low throw, low throw, low throw. He'll jab, he'll tap, he'll hit hard. He'll throw hooks, he'll throw uppercuts. I mean, he has a big variety of punch selection that he does. So he's a little different than most power punchers, because I don't really think he relies on his power, even though he normally knocks guys out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel you. But Canelo, like I said, Canelo, I've said this, and I have to stay true to what I've said. If Canelo goes to 175 and beats Beterbiev, in my opinion, he is number one pound for pound and possibly one of the best fighters to fight. Possibly. Like,
I'm gonna put it like this. I consider him that he's a great fighter and one of the best that did it. You know what I mean? One of them out of many. But here's my issue. I really feel that he can stop Beterbiev. And this is why I feel he'll stop Beterbiev. I think Beterbiev relies on that power, and he's got to be told you don't have to put power on shots. That's what he was told in his last fight, because he is so in love with his power. He's got good feet movement to cut the ring off. He cuts the ring off very well. If a guy can't move like that, you know what I mean? I think Canelo can move, but it's not his niche. But I think he'll play right into Canelo, and when Canelo starts letting off his shots, his explosive, quick, accurate shots, whether to the body and to the head, not only is he going to hurt him to the body, but he's going to swell him up, and he ain't going to be able to see Canelo. And if you can't see Canelo out of one of your eyes, and then you're being told, okay, you ain't got, like, the reason he got the stoppage in his last fight was his fucking corner told that motherfucker, yo, you don't have to throw everything hard. And the moment he just started putting combinations together, he got the guy out of there.
Right, but that was also, like I said, him being out for like a year, going on 2 years out of the, like, I mean, he did not look as good as he's looked in the past in his last fight. But the thing is, you got to keep in mind that Canelo's been at light heavyweight. He fought Kovalev, and in my opinion, it was just a right moment fight, because Kovalev's been on his last leg. But the jab of Kovalev, even not at his prime, not at his best, Kovalev was causing Canelo all types of issues. So when you've got a guy, in my opinion, who doesn't hit anywhere as hard as Beterbiev, who's hurting you with jabs, backing you up with jabs, it's going to be a long night against Beterbiev if he comes in there putting a fist in your face. Now, Canelo, very good. Every time we've seen him fight, he looks better. Like he's always getting a new wrinkle to the way he fights. I give him all the credit in the world, but I don't know. Like Beterbiev is just, the dude is dangerous. But if Canelo can beat him, I'm not saying Canelo can't beat him. I'm just saying that it'd be a hard fight. It's not going to be one of them fights where Canelo's going to just be able to eat the shots like he can eat shots. I guarantee you he won't eat them shots coming from Beterbiev.
Hey, I think Beterbiev's power is a little different too. You know, like I said, he was barely landing on the dude, and he was still rocking him. Like, and I was like, damn, like this dude's hands is like super heavy. So I'm not saying that, you know, I know Canelo's got a hell of a chin, but against a Beterbiev, man, I don't know. I mean, I get it. I'll give him credit for that win too, if he pulls it off. And I'll definitely put him top notch. I'll put him up another level. I don't know how many more levels he could get up, but I would like to see this man get in there and scrap with those type of challenges, you know, or Beterbiev. But I do think Bivol, I think me and Troy got into it about it, and he was like, well, he don't move his head. And I'm like, why you gotta move your head if you ain't there?
I think well, it comes down to this. If Canelo can deal with Beterbiev's power, he stands a chance at beating him. You know what I mean? But as far as like boxing ability, the thing about Beterbiev is just how much power he has. I don't know if Canelo could take it or not because he's not a true 175-pound fighter. But if he can, he could probably outbox him if he can take the power. However, Bivol is a much better boxer. Like technically skilled, moving, jabbing. Bivol, in my opinion, would cause Canelo a lot more issues on the technical side. With Beterbiev is just, can Canelo take his shots? That's the $1 million question. But with Bivol, he might have some real issues with Bivol's boxing ability.
Yeah, you know what I think it is the boxing ability will actually make Canelo work harder than he's accustomed to working, because he's gonna have to start reaching for this guy. And he's going to be doing it at a higher weight. And when he does finally reach this guy, he's going to be trying to get to him. He's going to be running into some shit. Now, if you're going directly at him like a Beterbiev is, you know, like we're discussing his power, and his power is good, but is he going to land a decent shot against, decent shots against a Canelo? Because Canelo, his waist movement, his foot movement is good, you know, but he's improving. He's actually improving. So I don't know how his knees are getting better. Shit, I don't know how his chin got better. Maybe because of his neck. I don't know. But the dude continues, like you said, to get better. But his one weakness is when he's walking you down. Like with Kovalev, he's got a good jab. Okay, I get that. But he's not known as a mover. He can't box with bigger guys. But when you got a smaller guy in there with really quick feet that could get in and out, and you got to reach for him, and you don't have a reach advantage, and the dude's got pop. He's got one punch knockout power. He's got accurate shots. Like you said, he fights, I'm not going to say dirty. I'm gonna say we'll just say smart. You know what I'm saying? To where he can hit you and you can't hit him. You know, like Floyd. Floyd used the forearm a lot. Floyd used a lot of shit that some people would say, oh, that's dirty. You know what I mean? Like when he fought Gotti, for instance, and he held his head down and then cracked him. You know what I mean? Like that was somewhat dirty. And then the fight completely changed from that moment forward. Not that it wouldn't have, but Floyd just dismantled this man from bell to bell. But he was more angry at the ref than he was at Floyd. You know,
Right.
So I mean, it was like, but it was inevitable regardless. There's A plus and there's, you know, C and B. And Floyd was just another level. His reflexes were something else. But what I'm trying to say is, when you take a guy like Canelo has that really good, you know, he's got that quick twitch. He's explosive. He's got decent power. And he's accurate with his shots, and his head movement on the inside will cause you problems. But how can you use your fucking, how can you use your swivel movement, that ball that's in your stomach that they say, you know, him, Bird, you know, guys like that? How do you use that when you chasing a motherfucker down? And what happened when Bird was in that position? And what happened when Canelo was in that position? When they had to reach for these guys, they couldn't use that swivel. So now you got an accurate puncher on the other side of you that's giving you issues. So I think Bivol literally falls, if he plays the game perfect, falls right into his trap. I mean, Beterbiev. But Bivol is going to be in a, now I'm running around all night. Now all of a sudden you're bringing on stamina issues that Canelo hasn't been having lately. Now that's playing into play. And what I'm saying is, you're taking him out of his element, so that raises your chances of pulling off the dub. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. Mobility fighters are the ones that cause them the most problems, like Austin, out Floyd Mayweather, Lara.
Yep.
Definitely see. That's why Billy Joe Saunders, if he could look like Billy Joe Saunders against David Lemieux, it might be a long night for Canelo, but Billy Joe just hasn't looked as good as he did in the past, especially.
And David Lemieux is not Canelo Alvarez.
No, I'm not saying.
Right. No, I know. I get what you're saying, though.
If he can move like that against Canelo, it may give Canelo issues. But I'm
surprised that fight never happened, though, Tony.
What's that?
I said I'm surprised that fight never happened.
What's that? Lemieux
and Canelo. Yeah.
Well, it's because Lemieux kept losing when it would have been step-up fights to be able to get to a Canelo. Yeah. But the thing is, you know, again, with Beterbiev, it's one of them things where, you know, bigger, stronger, too big, too strong. That's going to be the question. Is he too big, too strong for Canelo? Because it's just like Maurice Hooker. He had Virgil Ortiz face all marked up, but his punches just weren't doing the same amount of damage being returned on him. Yeah. Canelo may hit Beterbiev more than he's ever been hit. He might mark his face all up, but are his shots going to equal one of Beterbiev's shots landing on him? That again, that's the $1 million question. I do agree. That's why I said in a technical, you know, I believe, like I said, Canelo can beat Beterbiev if he can take his size and power. That's a $1 million question if he can. Right. But Bivol, there is no doubt it will be a very hard technical fight, period. There is no $1 million question there. When he gets in the ring with Bivol, it's going to be hard. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's no, can he do this? Can he do that? Bivol is such a good boxer, and he can outside box very well, that I can agree with you. I think on a technical aspect, Bivol is a much harder fight for Canelo than Beterbiev, if Canelo can take Beterbiev's size and strength, which I don't know if he can.
But Tony, before any of the trolls come through and say, you know, well, look what you know, Canelo did to what's the tall dude that he fought? Cupcake.
Callum Smith.
Yeah, Callum Smith. Yeah, Cupcake. Yeah, so when he fought Cupcake, check this shit out. That dude's got good foot movement, but he is not as explosive with his feet as Bivol is. That's the exact same reason why I said that fucking Thurman is going to experience shock and awe against Manny Pacquiao. Because the moment that this motherfucker said he got them T-Rex arms, I'm like, you forgot about his feet. How do you think he gets them shots off?
Yeah.
That motherfucker's in, and that motherfucker's out, and that motherfucker's in before you even know it.
Well,
Same with
think-
Tio. Same with Tio and fucking Lomachenko. I'm like, he likes to bounce around. You know what I mean? And use side to side movement and use angles on you. But when a guy can dart in and close the distance and get his just gain foot position with an explosive movement, that changes the game.
Yeah.
Like that changes everything because it's like every time I would see this man like Tio have success with guys, he wasn't trying to get foot position, especially with a southpaw. He didn't fight for foot position. He either took it or he would just get off anyway. He fought his fight. You know what I mean? He
Right.
always fought his fight. So I think that most of the things that Lomachenko would do is he would get you to try to get foot position, and then when you would gain foot position, he would take advantage of that and count on it. He like banked on the fact that you were fighting for foot position. And when you did that, he would just make you look stupid. But when you don't do that, and sometimes you do and sometimes you don't, it fucks him up. I think even fucking when he fought damn it, the 135 pounder, probably the best fighter. He fought at 135. The dude who be getting knocked out every once in a while, but he's a beast. You know what I'm talking about. Dude that Devin Haney might be fighting.
Linares.
Linares can box, and occasionally Linares turned with this motherfucker because he had really good feet. And when he did, boom, it changed the game. He put him on his ass. I mean, don't get me wrong. Lomachenko was persistent and he outworks guys. But man, Linares ain't as young as Tio. And I think Lomachenko realized that in the fight and was like, yo, this motherfucker is a problem.
See,
which might hurt him later though.
See, we can never agree on this fight because when I watched it, I scored it. I thought it was a draw. I thought Lomachenko won the second round, and I thought he lost the 12th round. And I had Loma winning 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I had Tio winning 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 12. And you know, Tio is young, like you said, and he's definitely only going to get better, and he's only going to get faster and stronger. I think in a rematch, Tio will more than likely look better against Lomachenko because he is going to get better. Like, you know what I mean? Like Lomachenko is ceiling. He's not going to get any better. He's as good as he can be. The only thing that can happen to Lomo is a decline from where he's at. You know what I mean?
Right. I think it was a stretch at 135 anyway. To be honest with you.
What I was going to say is, you know, to me in that fight, it was more or less of what Loma didn't do that cost him the fight because even in the rounds like 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6, where he was throwing no punches, the idiot was still doing like the Matador cape shit, taunting Tio. And I'm thinking to myself, like, bruh, you are losing these fucking rounds and you taunting this dude like you're winning. It doesn't matter if like his shots are grazing you or they're barely landing on you. He's still landing shots and you're not throwing nothing back. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So,
but Tony, you're missing something.
No. You're gonna say.
Oh no. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, you're gonna say it's what Tio was doing that was causing him not to fire back, and I understand that argument. I don't really believe it. Watching how Loma was reacting in the early rounds. Now in that 12th round, he was getting his ass whooped. If it would have been a 15-round fight like classic fights, he would have been knocked out. He would have made it to the 15th round. But again, at the end of the day, if anybody says Teofimo Lopez won that fight, I take no issues with that. Even though I had it a draw, I could see the second round going to Teo, and that's it. Like, if you give the second round to Teo, he won that fight. But I just thought that one of the scorecards was outrageous. It was like the judge was blind, not watching it. But again, in a rematch, I favor Teo because, again, he's only going to get better with every fight. Like, he'll fight Kambosos, he'll be better than when he fought Loma. When he fights the guy after Kambosos, whomever it is, he's only going to be better. You know, he's going to keep improving until he's in his early 30s. We're just seeing the tip of the iceberg when it comes to him. He's nowhere near fully developed. And you know, I favor him. But to get back to where we was, I don't know. Like, I agree with you that I think Bivol can cause Canelo a lot more technical issues in the ring than Better Beef can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know I'll be going way the fuck off, of course.
No, it's
but
cool.
I just forget in the boxing, you know. But just real quick, back to the Teo Loma, I just wanted to say that was the other thing that kept his hands home was timing. Timing in the jab. The jab kept pumping, and you seen that with, like, when you seen Derevyanchenko and you know, Triple G got a good jab. Very good jab, underrated jab. Derevyanchenko, it could be age, you know what I mean? You know, he could move on Triple G. That movement was missing against Jamal because Jamal was timing him with the jab and changing levels, and he was changing speeds. I still say this to this day, very impressed with the improvement that I've seen in Jamal Charlo. Did he change trainers?
No. Well, yes, he left what's his name? Ronnie Shields, he left him.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, man.
So Jermel is still with Ronnie Shields. Jamal left him.
Yo, Jamal's timing, it was in his combination punching where he just didn't throw everything hard. Like, that kept Derevyanchenko still. It literally, because he wasn't committing to it, so he couldn't just slide, and he would just pump it out there real quick. As soon as the dude would try to set his feet to make a movement, he would just put it out there. That jab I've noticed that people who jump side to side and use angles, when you time them, I think another guy who's got good timing is anyway. If you watch that fight again, you'll see the exact same thing happening. Where this man, the difference between Derevyanchenko and Lomachenko is this: Derevyanchenko took more chances, and he paid for them.
Well,
Lomachenko, he knew, he was like this. He baited on this man to slow the fuck down and was hoping he blew his load, and then was just gonna take over and rock his shit, and it wasn't going away. There was moments and he had successes, but he had to take chances for them successes, but they were few and far in between. And even though they looked devastating and he had his great moments, because he did, I just feel like, nah, man, I didn't have it as close as you did,
but
I just didn't.
My thing is, I see what you're saying, but to me, the big difference is when Charlo was letting his hands go, even with the jab, he was cracking them with clean jabs, cracking them, hitting them with straights while he was trying to come clean. The difference is in them early rounds, me watching it, Teo really wasn't landing no shots, and the shots that he was landing weren't really landing. They were like grazing or barely hitting them. Like, they weren't shots of concern.
Right.
But
Lomachenko is levels above Derevyanchenko, and the thing is Lomachenko wasn't. He realized what he was up against, so I really felt like he kept his hands at home, And then he had issues changing from defense to offense because he likes to fight in patterns. He's got like plenty of them, but it just wasn't. He spent a lot of time trying to gauge Teal, and that he felt, okay, well, I'm me, so I'm winning this round, and I landed 2 stiff jabs that knocked his head back, so I won this round. So there was more than one thing happening in that fight, and I think they both surprised each other in that fight, in moments in that fight where they were like, holy shit, this fucking guy, you know? But, you know, I don't know, man. I wouldn't mind seeing the fight again, but I'm not going to knock Teal and say that, you know, because he didn't give him a rematch that he's a bitch and all that shit. I'm not gonna do all that.
I don't believe that.
But I do feel that it was I think that's a lot of bitter fans that really enjoy, you know, they the cowboy fanboys like in that video. You know, but at the same time, man, I can't knock Lomachenko. That dude's a bad motherfucker. And I feel he was stretching at 135, and I think Teal is ready to move on from 135 to 140 because he's a big guy. I mean, he's got a big frame, even though he's short and stocky. Like, he can't stay there much longer. So, you know, I that's why and he's explosive and he's younger. That's why I picked him in the fight, because I was like, yo, man, the attributes just work this time. You know what I mean? And this dude's I'm not going to say that Teal's a better boxer than fucking Lomachenko, because he's not. He's just not. He's just explosive, and I just hope that Teal ups his boxing skills, because fast twitch goes away. Power don't. But he gets away with committing to power because of his fast twitch, and he got away with it because he's still young. But he definitely needs to up his skill set if he wants to stick around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, again, like as far as the rematch goes, win, lose, or draw, I think he does better against Loma in the rematch. Even if he lost to Loma in the rematch, I still think he looks better in the rematch. And what I mean by that is, I think he's going to land a lot more shots on Loma the second time around, win, lose, or draw. I just think he looks better. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's 100% that he'll beat Loma, but I believe it's 100% that he'll look better, whereas the shots that were grazing will start to land more cleanly on him. But I wouldn't mind seeing it, but it's not a fight that I'm actually screaming for. I would rather see
Me neither.
Like a Ryan Garcia go ahead and beat Devin Haney, because I think he's overhyped. I think he's extremely overhyped, and I think Teal either knocks him out or Devin goes into flight mode for the whole fucking fight.
Mm-hmm.
I like fight.
It's possible.
I think Tank Davis would be the best fight for him for like publicity.
Fun fight. I just think that for boxing, he should probably fight fucking Haney, you know. Hey, what do you think about that? Marquez timed Pacquiao. He did, but he also fucking Pacquiao tripped over his foot and literally stumbled into that shot. Well, if you watch that fight, watch it. He jumped in, Marquez timed him perfectly, but fucking Pacquiao tripped over. And listen, that's the first fight that I had Pacquiao. Like, I'm not saying that they weren't close fights, but that's the first fight that I had Pacquiao, even with the knockdowns, beating Marquez.
Yeah.
And he literally tripped over his foot and fell into his fucking shot. Watch the fight. Look at their feet. Watch the replay, y'all. He tripped over his foot and ran into his right hand, and that motherfucker was asleep, and you could see the motherfuckers. I was so shocked that Lampley was like, Marquez did it. I thought that motherfucker was going to start crying. Yo, I really did, because that motherfucker, Pacquiao. And I think Pacquiao is a phenomenal fighter. Great for boxing. Fantastic fighter, man. But man, when Marquez iced him and didn't give him a rematch, and then was rocking the jacket with Manny Pacquiao sleeping, I was like, the inside of his blazer was a whole bunch of pictures of fucking Manny sleeping. I was like, it's a cold motherfucker. That's a cold motherfucker. But I like Manny though. I really do. I enjoy watching Manny.
But you got to keep in mind though. I agree with you. I thought despite Marquez getting knocked down all the times in the first fight, I thought he came back, should have won the fight. I thought he was robbed throughout their trilogy. So the fourth one was kind of like natural justice or some shit, right? But I will say this.
Manny was whipping his ass though.
But wait,
even though he got dropped, I was like, yo, Manny winning.
No, he was beating the shit out of him. But here's what I want to say about that though. In the first 3 fights, even though I thought Marquez was outboxing him, I never saw him hurt Pacquiao once in those 3 fights. Now, going into that 4th fight.
Nope, that's not true.
Hold on.
He had Pacquiao running sideways in that one where he caught him with the I don't know if it was it the second fight, y'all? Y'all remember that shit?
It was very brief.
Yeah, it was brief, but he was doing the stinky leg.
Here's my point though. This motherfucker gets on the scale looking like he hit puberty at 40 something.
Exactly.
He got fucking pimples the size of my fist all over
on
his
back. That's true. That's true. I'm not knocking that shit. But then you look at Manny and you like, yo, how your head grow? Like, I'm like, come on, man. Your bones don't grow after like 22. I think 24 is the latest. I'm like, how does motherfucker's head and hands grow? Like his hands grew, his bones grew. I'm like, with no fat on his body. You know how some people, they fill out and they go, oh, well, he filled out. Now this dude would have a sunken face and his head is bigger. His hands is bigger. Man, you know what that is, man. Come on, man.
Man,
and I think Marquez went in there, was like, he was on some baby Miller shit and went to CVS and got everything he could find. It was like, gotcha, bitch. It was a fantastic fight, though. I like all 4 fights. Taking nothing away from Manny, hell of a fighter, but man, yeah, that motherfucker did have pimples all up his back.
Yeah.
Even when Bradley fought him, he was like, that motherfucker's solid. And Bradley probably had the best physique, one of the best physiques in the welterweight division. Could you imagine him and fucking Porter fighting?
Oh, man, it just been headbutt after headbutt.
Headbutt, yeah. I said that too. I said it would have been a headbutt fest. But man, it'll look good when they do mix it up. You know what I'm saying? It'll look good when they do mix it up, man.
That shit wouldn't even look like boxing. It looked like a rugby match. Like, that shit wouldn't even make no fucking sense, bro.
Yeah, man. But there's a lot of style matchups that I wanted to see.
Fucking battling rams on the side of a mountain.
Whose head stronger? I think Bradley would have pulled that shit off.
Yo, Bradley's head's way too big. He looked like a full-grown baby. Like, that shit don't make no sense how big his head is.
Yo, I think Charles D said it better. He said that motherfucker's head looked like a big-ass knuckle. Yo, Charles D. That man, free Charles D, man, from YouTube jail, man. I want to see that man again. That's one of the funniest motherfuckers.
What happened to him? He like disappeared.
Yeah, YouTube got him.
What you mean?
That's all we're gonna say.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, like, you know, I'm just like, but yeah, he'll be back eventually. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, his head do look like a knuckle, man. I like Bradley. I like when him and fucking Andre Ward get into it. I think that shit's fun, man. I think it's fun. You breaking up, Tony? I'd like to see Teddy Atlas come back.
I said Bradley wants to fight Andre Ward. He challenged him.
No shit.
Yeah, he challenged him to a boxing match.
No
Boy
shit.
turned it down though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
That was
crazy.
that was probably like 6-7 months ago.
No shit. I don't know. Damn, I wonder why he would turn it down. Honestly,
No.
I
Brad
don't know.
looking like he in the same weight class now, though, man.
Right, but I'm saying though, I mean, the one thing I can say about fucking Andre Ward is Andre Ward, man. That motherfucker was different. That motherfucker could be offensive, defensive at the exact same time. He could punch you and you would have no opportunity to punch him back, because of his positioning, the way he positioned his arms, the way he positioned his shoulders.
You know what it is?
Like,
you like them dirty ass fighters because he was dirty as fuck too.
I like Hopkins too.
Ward was dirty. Like this man did so much dirty shit in the ring.
Oh man, I've seen dirty fighters, man. I've seen dirty fighters, really dirty fighters. I don't consider them motherfuckers dirty. I think they're using tricks. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some dirty shit. Like I said, there's plenty of great fighters that got away with tricks. They know where the ref is when they do certain shit. You know what I mean? They know how to play certain games. But I literally think that a guy like Hopkins, I didn't consider him dirty. I think he was holding out because there was a point in his career right after he came out where he was just whipping everyone's ass and he wasn't fighting dirty and he was beating everybody's ass and he wasn't getting the opportunities. And then when he would get the opportunities, I think he wanted to add to his career. He knew he was going to be going longer. So he did everything in the book that he could to stick it out. Because this man fought till he was what? Fucking 50?
Yeah, he met Joe Smith.
Yeah, till he met Joe Smith. But 50, you supposed to get knocked out the ring if you 51. Think about that. The fact that this motherfucker even was having successes in that ring tells you how good of a fucking fighter he was. To fight at 51 on the elite level, fighting champions, is insane. That's like saying Mike ain't even 51.
No.
So, I mean, think about that. Him and George, these guys, but George took a long layoff. He didn't take that long a layoff, Hopkins, other than his stint.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I applaud the guy. I applaud the guy because he also beat Kelly Pavlik when Kelly Pavlik was, use this. He beat the shit out of him. He was like 40-something. He beat, when he was 36, considered old and past his prime, or 30, whatever the fuck he was. He knocked out fucking Trinidad. And I seen that coming. He held it for the biggest fights. I think he just stuck in the game too long. You know what I mean? He stuck in the game too long. Even with Calzaghe, when he fought Calzaghe, I'm not saying Calzaghe didn't beat him. I'm not saying Calzaghe didn't beat fucking Roy. But Calzaghe was one of them
undefeated
fine wine motherfuckers. Yeah. Kind of like, so I mean, but he had success against Calzaghe. They both put Calzaghe on his ass.
Well, yeah, he did have success, but Calzaghe suffered from the same thing that Mayweather did. He had brittle hands, so
right.
Halfway through his career, he couldn't even throw shots like he did whenever he was more dominant. He had to switch up. So,
yeah, Calzaghe was a bad motherfucker too. And you know what? It sucked that the fights didn't happen sooner because we would have seen them guys in their prime scrapping. You know, I kind of blame Roy for the Hopkins fight, because when Hopkins made the adjustments and be better, I mean, how many defenses did he have? And he was like, 60-40, I'll spank that ass. Is that not Earl Spence and fucking Bud Crawford? 60-40, I'll spank that ass. Like, this dude was doing everything at that moment. He was in the tournament. They both fought. He fought, what the fuck was his name? That one dude. And I think he would have, he could punch. I'm trying to think of his name. He wasn't a great fighter, but that dude could punch. He was wild as fuck. They had a competition and whoever they had a tournament, and whoever won the tournament was supposed to be Felix versus fucking Roy, and the fight would have happened, no problem. But everyone was shocked that fucking Hopkins came out on top, and it changed the game. And then Roy said no. So, in so many words, but that would have been a hell of a fight. I always wanted to see fucking at middleweight or even super middleweight with fucking Bernard Hopkins and James Toney.
That would have been a very defensive fight. Like, I don't know how that would play out though.
Yeah, but I mean that from the fucking promotion to the fight. The one thing I gotta say about both of them fighters, and you can say what you want about Hopkins, when it came time to scrap, and you put that motherfucker in a bad position, it wasn't about being dirty. That motherfucker would go after you. You know what I'm saying? If he was really like in a bad position, like he was a dog, man. Bernard Hopkins was a dog. I don't care what anyone says.
Well,
you better watch his early fights, man.
The thing about Bernard Hopkins that, in my opinion, made him so great was his foot placement. I think he might be one of the best people for foot placement that's ever fought, because he always knew where to move and when to move and when not to move. Like, he was very good with his foot placement. I mean, his defense worked off of that. You know what I mean? Like, he just knew how to position himself. And
that's true too, though, Tony.
Yeah,
he said Hopkins was great at middleweight and beat Tarver. Yep, after the big win. Hopkins wasn't really ever knocked out. He was knocked out the ring. Yeah, he hit the concrete. I was shocked that the cameraman saved the camera and didn't try to catch him.
Who was it? It was Hopkins. Who was he fighting where he like fell down and he like claimed that he was hurt? And
yeah, that was bullshit. He was just trying to stretch that shit. Nah, I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah,
I was very disappointed. Yeah, I was like, oh, this motherfucker playing the game right now. He capping. You know what I mean?
Remember who?
I felt like you in that. Nah, I keep it 100, man, because that was cap, man. That was
Stop
cap.
the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
Yeah, you right about that. I'll give you that one. I was like, that's bullshit. That's hot bullshit. That was hot bullshit. I'm like, man, you need to cut that shit out, man. You look like an old motherfucker trying to extend your shit.
Yeah. I'm about to go to bed, bro.
All right, man.
It with you. I just, like I said, was stopping by to show support.
All right, man. Thanks, man, Tony. I thank you for coming through and shit. I hope everybody ain't hyped about the Ruiz and Areola fight, you know, because that's.
What do you think about him? Talent heavyweight. Who?
Chris Areola, the Nightmare.
Nightmare. I'm up to scared or something.
Oh, I laugh at my own shit. Yo, I'm sorry, y'all, but that's a horseshit fight. We know it's gonna happen. But shout out to Ruiz. I mean, I think the guy is a threat to any of the heavyweights right now. I think he is in shape. And if that motherfucker can move those feet, that's gonna be a serious problem, because he can definitely move them hands, and he got rocks in them hands. So Ruiz is a threat at heavyweight. I've been flaming him because he had the opportunity to do some shit and he chose to go a different route. You know what I mean? So if y'all want me to keep it going, I'll keep it going. You know what I mean? It's getting a little late, but I don't want everybody like. So let me know if this shit's stretching too long. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I mean, but at the same time, I'm trying to stay positive with boxing. You know, I really want to see these big fights happen. And when we don't get them, I'm like, fuck it. What I could do is just be more positive about the big fights that we get. That's Tyson Fury and AJ, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? the we did get Chocolatito. We got the Estrada fight. I mean, that's what it's about, man. These guys is besting they best, and they trying to reach that upper echelon moving forward. So it is what it is. You're more than welcome, Lisa. And that goes for everybody in the chat. If y'all want to kick it a little longer, you're more than welcome. I may be reaching, but fuck it. We chilling here now. So anything y'all want, my thoughts on anything y'all need, I'll be more than happy to jump on and tell y'all about it. My perspective on the whole joint. That's what it is about boxing, man. Like it's always had like this intrigue to me. Well, I always enjoyed it, I always enjoyed the big fights. What's going on, Lisa? How you feeling?
I'm good, much better.
Yeah, good.
Had to
have you
wash
back.
my hair and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, to get all pretty, to get on the panel.
Yeah.
And
Had
show
to
your
wash my hair.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, you definitely probably enjoyed yourself, you know what I'm saying, and doing it and just kick back, relaxed, and just like, that's what you need sometimes, man.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Shit.
Not at all.
I know I got some shit in today, man. Ran like 2 miles or whatever, trying to get back in shape.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm out here doing it. My knees feeling good, my feet feeling good, like everything feeling good. It just sometimes you got to get back into it and allow your body to get right, and then you back in the mix.
Exactly.
My problem is
especially during this era, during this time, had people cooped up and everything. Yeah.
I never used to get bored. Like I was always like a habit guy. Like I used to get pissed off and didn't feel whole when I didn't work out. Like I had that mentality at a certain point in my life. But now I'm like, and it's just boring.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I'm like, damn man, I could be doing this and this right now. There's some shit up the stairs that I could be eating. So I need to, but it's funny because that shit didn't start hitting me to like hit a certain age, like, and it took a while, man, because my boys, I'll be looking at my boys like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I'm like, I'm doing all right, man, but it's good. But that's what I gotta do. I gotta start eating healthy, man. Eating healthy would probably help me out a lot more too. You know what I mean? And being with this pandemic, not getting a lot of sun the way you used to, and that really helps your energy. It really gets you up, and it brightens your day.
All might have to take vitamin D until you can.
Yeah, it's a fact. Yeah. I don't be getting tired. I just be like getting tired of what the fuck I'm doing, like mentally. Like, I'm like, this shit is boring. Like I'll be listening, like I was listening to Black Fly while I was running, and I was like, if I don't run now, I'm like, I ain't gonna run. So I was just like, but then I heard he had it going, and I was like, cool, that's what's up. Just listening to some boxing. I love boxing, man. Always have, always will. Always have. What made you fall in love with boxing?
Watching it with my dad as a kid. Like I remember the Thriller in Manila. I was a little something, and boxing was big back then, It was like the main sport. Well, one of them, And I remember as a kid, Ali was larger than life. And then after that, then Sugar Ray Leonard came in. He was larger than life. And I remember all those guys. I remember Roberto Duran. They were all legends. Hagler. I remember Hearns. Those were the big names. There's so many of them, but those people, I remember watching I have vague memories of it, but I remember that Thriller in Manila, and I remember that fight was so um grueling, and the temperatures that they fought in, the temperature that they fought in was really hot in the Philippines, and I just remember Ali sitting with that towel on his head, and he was just barely like,
Yeah,
it just looked like he was done after that. But
yeah.
he still,
He was still
yeah,
gonna get up, but he was very thankful when fucking Frazier said, "I'm done." That motherfucker said, "Oh, thank God."
yeah,
Because I'm done. I was about to say it. Woo, I'm glad you gave up before I did.
yeah.
Yeah, but you know
And
what?
then I remember the one in
Shout out to
Africa
him.
too.
Yep. Fantastic fight. And that's the same. I don't remember Ali that much, but I do remember Hagler and Sugar Ray.
Leonard,
Sugar Ray really
yeah,
got me looking at. I remember grabbing. I was around a lot of grown folks, and to watch the fight at that time. You know what I mean? Like kids wasn't allowed to watch certain shit at that time, but I would be like, all right, cool. I would sneak out the crib and say I'm going to my friend's house and hang with these grown folks and be grabbing them beers just to watch the fight because they got the fight. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, I'll get you beer, whatever. And then I'm like watching the fight and shit. And I would just, yeah, I loved it. And I would just be going to like the CVS's or the Rite Aids or whatever and reading the boxing magazines. The nostalgia for me was massive. Mike Tyson. But after
Oh yeah,
Sugar,
yeah,
I also like Michael Carbajal. I love watching that guy fight. Like it was one of
yeah,
my favorite
yeah,
Mexican fighters at that time period.
yeah,
Because even when he came back in his comeback and he kind of like Chocolatito and beat and stopped like the hot new young guy, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
just got that motherfucker out of there. Like I love Michael Carbajal, Little Hands of Stone. They used to call
yeah,
him.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he was
See,
so
I
fun.
found out about him later because there were certain people, I was on and off of boxing. I had stopped
Mhm.
watching it for a while after Tyson and all of that era and Lennox Lewis and all them. I do remember when the Klitschlos was around. I had
Mhm.
stopped kind of watching it because I
Mhm.
was out young and partying and doing my own thing,
Yeah.
and it wasn't really no big, I didn't have a problem. Like a lot of people didn't like the Klitschos, but I liked them.
Yeah.
I didn't have a
I thought
problem with
they was
them.
good, both good fighters. They were both good
Yeah,
fighters. The fact that they fought in Germany, and I think that a lot of people was bitter because it went in America heavyweight and they were reigning, and it came through. And then we didn't get him in there to mix it up with because they both him and Lewis wanted Tyson, and I think Foreman wanted Tyson, but then I'm hearing things about people talking about it. Like I heard somebody saying something along the lines that Mike Tyson was talking to Don King, and there was this guy there. I guess he was, writing down what he was hearing from him, and he said, "What do you think about fighting George? He's old. He's this. He's that." And he was like, I guess Tyson stood up and was like, "Well, if you like him so much, why don't you fight that fucking animal?" And then I remember Foreman always saying he wanted to fight Mike, but he wouldn't fight Lennox. And he said because he's too big
yeah,
or something. But I guess it was said supposedly that Foreman said he didn't want to fight Mike either, and that fucking Ali told him don't do it. He was like, "Don't fight that
right.
motherfucker." So I
Yeah,
mean, but shout out to that man for doing what he did, fucking George, because he came out and he came back and he did a lot of things. I met him personally. I don't really care for him personally, but as a fighter, hell of a
right.
fighter, man. Hell of a fighter.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a legend. Yeah, he got a lot of great fights before and when he came back. I remember when
I,
he beat Burt Cooper. I'm just sitting there thinking about that. He beat the crap out of him. I remember
Yeah.
he beat Joe Frazier bad two times.
And Burt Cooper almost stopped fucking Evander at that time.
Yeah, Burt Cooper was my dude, boy.
They gave
Burt
they gave
Cooper was
Evander a
crazy.
they gave Evander a standing 8. Y'all should watch that. And there was no standing 8 count in that fight.
Mm.
And I was like, they gave him, and I remember my uncle George was there, and I was like, yeah, I think Burt might pull it off. And he was like, nah, and he was laughing, and I'm like, nah, man, I was young. I was like, nah. I was like, there's no standing 8 count. Not in this one. They said that in the beginning of the fight, and they gave him a standing 8, and then he came back and was left hook, uppercut all day on that George Foreman defense. That because Burt Cooper had the same defense, the cross defense that dude had, and that's why
he was a Joe Frazier fighter. Remember at first.
And people were saying that George could teach Deontay Wilder that, and I'm like, Deontay Wilder can't do that. And nobody understood why I said it. And I'm like, his arms ain't big enough. They're long, but they're not big enough to block enough. You know what I mean? Like he's skinny, so it's not going to be the same. You got big, heavy, massive, large arms. It's difficult to get through that guard unless you're Evander Holyfield. But yeah, if you got skinny arms, I don't know if that type of defense is gonna work in your favor. You know, I really don't.
He reached out to AJ when he lost to what's his name, Ruiz, but I guess he didn't take the call or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying he did reach out. I remember, just like he reached out to Wilder and said he could help him.
He kind of blew my son off. My son was like 2 or 3, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing, George?" And I was like, I was at he was going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
and he just kind of brushed my son off. I let my son go up there just to take I was like, "You mind if I take a picture with my son?" And he was just like. He just gave me a look like, get the fuck out my face. And I was like, you fat. Wow. I was mad as fuck. I was like, damn, I threw his grill out. I was like, fuck this dude. I was hot, man. And I don't think y'all know me because I let them motherfuckers know. I don't care who they are, man. I'm like, really? It wasn't even like he had plenty of time too. So it wasn't like, I don't approach fighters when they, you know what I mean? They busy. Right. You know, because I know that but yeah, man, he was, I don't know, maybe, you know, we all have our moments. So it might have been that moment, but I like him as a fighter, but as a person at that moment, I guess you could say I have a personal issue. I also met the dude that I met a lot of fighters and they sat and chat with me. Some don't got time. I get it. But like I said, I don't approach them like, hey, I'm like, hey, you mind, you know, doing this? If not, it's cool, you know. But when they just like, you know, like brush me off like I ain't shit, I let them know that they ain't shit, and then I let them go.
Right.
Well,
when is the next Hall of Fame gonna be held? I mean, what's the date?
I'm not sure. You're in New York too, so you gotta go to Oneida, right?
No, I don't live in New York. I live in Jersey.
Yeah, but you gotta go to Oneida, New York.
Yeah, that's way upstate, right?
No, yeah. It's a casino, right at Turnstone, right around there.
Oh, see, I'm not really sure about upstate New York. I know New York City because I'm not far from there.
Right, but
Oneida is near what town?
Oneida is right out. Oneida ain't far from Syracuse or Albany.
Okay.
So it's not that far.
How far is Syracuse and all of that from New York City?
Let me see. Syracuse is 140 miles away from Albany. So you just add the from New York to Albany because Albany's closer to New York and Syracuse is closer to Buffalo. But Oneida's before Syracuse. So
yeah. So I know Buffalo. That's a long way, Buffalo.
no, right. Buffalo is, but
Sheesh.
I think I go. Where does it go? It goes Albany, Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo. Right? I think I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure about upstate New York. I know more of the boroughs.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I've been now. Let me ask you this: I've been to Mount Vernon and all those places, and Yonkers. They don't consider that upstate, though.
Really? Well, yeah. Upstate is more like the spots I just said. Tri-state is it's upstate, Central New York, Western New York. Yeah. So it's
I've been to
upstate.
Scarsdale and all that.
And then I went to, it's nice up there. I'm trying to think of the Catskills. I went up there. And you could do some hiking up there. This is nice. And they got a nice little lake in the mountains, and that shit is dope. I ain't never been out there, and I was thinking about seeing if anybody was still up there at the old gyms, if they're still there. You know what I mean? Like
right.
But it's cool.
Where's this Big Bear place at? Is that up there?
No, Big Bear is in Canada. No, not Canada. Big Bear isn't Big Bear in Cali?
Oh, okay. Where Angel,
It's in
I
the
mean
mountains,
Abel.
right?
That's where Abel Sanchez be at, right?
And Big Bear, yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
north, but I think it's west. I think it may be west. I could be wrong though.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah,
I was just looking.
I figured George would be nice too, so I was set back. Also, I met who else was a jerk that I met that I would thought would be down to earth and real cool because I would literally is the dude that Angel Santos always pulls up. The dude from he's from Philadelphia. The guy who just fought and he just fought Jacobs.
Oh,
Right? See,
the guy that always bleeds a lot.
Yeah, but he's a good fighter. Yeah, I met him and he
Can't think of his name right now. Talk about old timers. Wait a minute.
He blew me off though. Same
Oh.
thing. Him and Foreman the only one. And you know what's funny is when I go up to him, I'm like, you mind doing this? And if they're like, yo, I gotta make moves or whatever, I'm like, cool. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like, but me and Whitaker kicked it for like 20 minutes. And he seemed like he was on the run. He went by and I was like, Pernell, like I didn't even call him Sweet Pea in front of nobody because nobody noticed him. And I was like, hey Pernell, if you got some time, when you come back through, you mind chit-chatting with me? And he was like, hell yeah. He was like, I just gotta go do this real quick. And I was like, cool. He came back, he chit-chatted with me. Chris Bird, Marvin Hagler chit-chatted with me, like all these guys. But Gabe Rosado, that motherfucker.
Yeah, Gabe
was
Rosado.
Like, he didn't have no time for nobody. So I made that motherfucker wait.
Right.
You know what I did? I stopped
What?
I stopped his trainer who was damn it. And he's cool as fuck.
He was Freddie Roach, right?
Nah, his trainer was a dude who
Joel Diaz.
No, the fighter, the old fighter, he fought Trinidad, he fought De La Hoya, the Mexican dude. I'm trying to think of his name. He was cool as shit. And he even said it. He was like, nah, he's a fan, man. You gotta show love to your fans. And I was like, because I stopped him and I was like, oh shit, that's such and such. And I knew his name when I seen him. And I was like, so I started talking to him, and then he had to wait. And I talked to him for like fucking 10 minutes, and his fighter had to wait the whole time he was there. So he had to wait there anyway. So yeah, I kept that motherfucker chilling there.
And so his old trainer, I'm trying to think of who that is.
It was fucking Whitaker was Whitaker was cool. I'm trying to think in San Diego and Cali. Yup. I'm trying to think of who it is. He's a big name fighter. Damn, he trained under Robert Garcia. Back in the days, he fought Oscar De La Hoya. He fought Trinidad. They said he was on steroids when he fought De La Hoya, and he got knocked out by Trinidad, but he dropped Trinidad like 2 or 3 times. Oh,
you're not talking about the young kid.
Yep, that's exactly.
And he got sons that's fighting now.
Yeah, that was his trainer.
What's wrong with my brain tonight?
Yeah, that's his trainer. I don't know. My mind's
I
going
like
the same
that
way
kid.
too.
He had back issues.
Vargas.
Yeah, Fernando Vargas.
And he stopped, and I was like,
Yeah.
yo, shout out to you, whatever. And he was like, yeah, man. And he sat there and he chit-chatted with me. And he was like, come on, man. I remember a dude was like, come on. And he was like, nah, man, it's a fan. This is how you supposed to treat fans. This is how you supposed to treat people that you enjoy boxing. And he was like, yeah, man, but he was cool about it though. He didn't say that like outright, but that's what he was saying. When he said to him, he was like, hold on a second, boom, boom. Him and Jacob's old trainer kicked it. Like, and I get it.
Andre Rozier.
Yeah, and he was cool.
I like him. Yeah.
He was cool as shit too. And I remember the dude with him was like, he don't usually stop for nobody. And my girl couldn't get a picture with us because she's just a bad picture taker. But it was fun, and we were both laughing and shit. Same with Whitaker. He was like, "Are you ready?" he was like he was cracking jokes the whole time. Same with Rozier and shit. So they was mad cool and shit. But my girl, she's the most lovely woman you'll ever meet. But she just when it comes to cameras, something is bad luck. Like we went to a fight. It was the main event. She wanted to take a picture or something, and she was like, "Can you fix the camera?" Right? I grabbed the camera. I grabbed the camera to fix it, and dude got knocked out. And I'm looking at the camera. I see everyone jump up like, "Oh!" And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Wow.
I was hot as shit, and she was like, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "Oh, that was worse." And I was like, I gave her the camera and was like, she was like, "Where you going, Tone?" I was like, "Man, I'm gonna go get a beer right quick." Gotta blow some steam.
Wow.
I went out and smoked a cigar. I was hot as shit. I was like, I didn't even want to see the replay. How you gonna be at the live fight and miss the knockout? I was like, I was hot as shit, man, but it was all fun, though. It was all fun. She always there for the fights, and the same with my cousin Jeanette. She be coming out. Her husband, my boy D, and we be going like we be having fun. Like we'll go to where they hold the conference and shit, and just and just hang out there prior to the conference or after the conference, and just do some wild shit and take pictures and shit. Like we fighting and throwing chairs at each other and shit. But we not really doing that. Just just taking pictures. It's fun. We have a lot of fun, man. Wherever we go. You know who else is really cool is Jennings. I met Jennings. Brian
Jennings.
Yeah, he lost to Ortiz.
I remember that fight.
Yeah, I chit-chatted with him. We was on the escalators, and his boys wasn't even with him. Like he was by himself, and I was just like. I walked up to him and was like, got on like, I ain't go at him like too rough. I was like, yo, man, you put on a good performance tonight. Congratulations on everything. And he was like, you got the wrong guy. I lost tonight. And I'm like, but man, you been in there with Klitschko. And he looked at me like, oh, boxing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, You've been in
Yeah.
there with all these dudes. Like your career, you reached the elite of the elite of the elite. Like that takes a lot, man. And yeah, you should be stand up. And then I'm like, yo, man, why your boys back there, man? You need a new set of friends in front of them. Like I'm crazy. I was like, yo, why ain't these motherfuckers with you? Like this should be the time they should be standing with you. You know what I mean? Not when you just winning, man. I'm like, but he seemed like a really cool, down to earth dude. And yeah, I love boxing, man. And I love fighters that get in there and mix it up. And yeah, man. But I'm this way all the time. I'm not a fake dude. I'm real in real life. Right. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, because I was. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lisa. You talk.
I was asking about Big Bear. I was asking about Big Bear because I hear about it a lot, but I was watching. For some reason, I was kind of intrigued with this, even though the fight was over. The fight is over with the McCaskill and the Breakers fight, right? And I watched their. They had like a presser, but it was like a Zoom one, and then the press conference was really informal, and it was like kind of like with Eddie Hearn in between a chair and them talking, but they did like a Zoom thing. And I remember McCaskill was really getting at her. I was like, whoa. She was like, they were saying that she's a brat.
Oh,
Breakers.
wow.
And yeah, but what happened was in the first fight, I didn't really realize all of this. See, she was up in Big Bear for a long time because due to the pandemic, so she couldn't fly back to Norway or anything. And she said she doesn't have the training like there in Norway like she would at Big Bear. So she was up in that high altitude or whatever. So or whatever for a long time. She was away from family, and she said it was very lonely. You know, she said, of course, Abel would come in every day to check on her. And she was saying how everything was there for her, the way the house was set up, and then she'd go right to the gym and, you know, but she said it's very lonely and, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this McCaskill girl was really getting at her. And in the press conference, and you know, so then I learned more about her, how she was able to bring boxing back to Norway because they had this thing called NorCal or something where it was against the law and everything. So, you know, it was just interesting watching that, but those girls, you know, sometimes I guess it's just like the passing of the baton, even though they're not really, I thought the girl was way younger. They're only like 2 years apart in age.
Right.
But the girl had a lot less fights, and she was just determined.
That was
right.
Asia, though.
Right.
Shout out to McCaskill for not McCaskill, but Brady's for being in there and just you know, putting on them shows and that longevity, and you got to respect that. And I think McCaskill could show a little more respect towards her, but at the same time, she want to get in this woman's head because this is a hardcore professional, and she ain't got nobody really checking her. So it's like I got to do anything I can to get you know in this person's head. So I mean, that's what it is. But you know what? When it comes to drama and fights, it kind of builds some shit up, you know? Some drama will make that shit more enticing because these people don't have the big names, and a little drama, especially in women boxing, is probably great because, I mean, it's not a lot of tension, and there should be probably more attention on it because these ladies putting in just as much work, if not more, than some of these guys, these top-notch guys that just have the talent to do what they want when they want. and you don't hear about these females doing fucked up shit outside of boxing. That's one
No.
thing
Ring IQ does a good job with the women's
he
boxing.
sure does. He sure does. That's one
Yeah,
of my favorite
I'm
channels.
learning a lot more about that. And it's a lot less politics with them, a lot less, they just get in there and do what they need to do. So I was just researching that and looking into that. But the thing about it is that she was talking smack too, but see, Brickus, but Brickus is kind of a little snobbish in her own little way. But
Right.
what's
You
her
know-
name?
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Brett McCaskill is from Chicago, so
Chi-town.
right? She's from Chi-town, so she is come from a whole different world.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know this girl is Colombian descent, Breakers, but she really, really grew up in Norway, so that's a whole different world.
Yeah, it is. But back to like guys like Ring IQ, he's a cool ass dude too. Because
Yeah, I like
you
him.
know what? I've been on this panel, I think like 2 or 3 times. But every time I got on there, he just allowed me in, let me chit chat, whatever, didn't judge me or anything. Actually agree with most of the shit I was saying. I was bringing up good points. But when I don't get on his channel much because sometimes I just like to listen. I do enough talking.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just like, he's one of the people I like to just listen to chit chat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
me too.
I've been on a lot smaller channels, bigger than mine. They won't even let me on the panel. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, yo, fuck.
Right.
And they just like, I think there's a couple people that are on the panels that know me that don't want me on. Probably telling them in the
Right.
private chat to, don't let this guy on for whatever reason. Don't want to say what
Right.
it really is. It's like, this is where I get most of my content from.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And that's what you notice when guys are offering to come to channels and people say things like, "Nah, don't go to his channel." Then they hating. Like it's clear as day. And they be on your channel and they telling you not to go to someone's channel. I don't know, man.
Right.
I don't know about that. I would never tell nobody, even if I ain't like the motherfucker and I couldn't stand him. I'd just be like, what you want? Figure it out on your own. Blaze your own trail, brother.
Yeah, everybody do their own thing, yeah. And one of my other favorite
Go ahead.
And one of my other favorite got a channel I really love. Is Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Great
Beats and Rhymes,
channel.
I've never been on that. I've heard about it through damn it. Damn, I'm having all types of them today. I got a better memory when I smoke. I ain't smoked in a long time. I should start probably smoking again, believe it or not. But
oh Lord,
but real talk, like I think it's Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. He talks about them all the time, but I haven't been on it. I haven't been on it. I haven't seen the guy. So
he's been around a long time. He's a UK channel, but he talks boxing though.
Oh,
and he talks. He got he knows about the history. He's a historical, but not just that, not historical, but today's boxing as well.
There's a lot of good channels out there. I'm trying to think of the one channel. Oh man, I like Boxing Source. He don't get a lot of traffic. He does got a radio show though.
That person. I know that person.
Yeah, but I literally
person.
got on there and he gets a lot of big interviews too. So shout out to the Boxing Source. He gets a lot of big interviews.
Know that person. I just can't think of them.
Matter of fact, he had Bud Crawford's trainer on there, Bomac, and me and Bomac was chatting it up, and they said something along the lines, one of them members of that other squad was like, oh, he's just on here doing this because he's fanboying, and I'm like, all I was saying was the truth. I was like, yo, I was like, when it comes to promoting, maybe you should just break out a video when Bud's like chit chatting, because I know he like competition and shit, whether he playing ping pong, basketball, or whatever. You know what I mean? I think that might help him on social media because he don't like being on media, but if he's in there competing, then I don't think he'll mind so much, and then you can see him for himself because I think he's a good dude. So I'm just like, I think it would probably benefit him. Then you can edit it, do whatever shit. If you want someone to edit it, I ain't say this, but I should have said it. Yeah, I can edit the shit for you. I'll make him look like the best guy in the world. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, I think it would benefit him though, a little more publicity, because when you got a guy like that who's skilled like he is and a good fighter and an entertaining fighter, like nobody gives him props for being entertaining. They always talk about a city or who he's fought or whatever, or they just always looking to downplay the guy. Like what you said, if he fights this guy, he's gonna get shit. If he fights this guy, it's a catch-22. And they just I don't like to see when a talented person gets downplayed in any aspect of anything, whether it be a business, whether it be a sport, whether it be in anything in life. It's like, yo, respect what it is, respect the God-given gift, and this dude ain't doing nothing wrong. He ain't doing dumb shit 24/7. You know what I mean? It's funny that some people they put on a pedestal, and some people they say, "Oh, this dude's this. He's a diva." When have you ever heard of Bud Crawford being a diva?
Well, a lot of people been saying that recently.
Right, recently because of the 60-40 bullshit. That's how it all started.
I think it has to do with but I think it was going on before then. Well, maybe I try not to get into all of that because I'm sick of that.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I just feel like if he's performing well in the ring, what is all the concerns with all the bullshit? I think they just narratives that people push to keep this guy, try to keep this guy as irrelevant as possible. And I'm like, I think this is bullshit. You don't see any other sport do that. Not showing them when they showing the champions in the division, little shit like that. Oh, I'm gonna fight this guy. I'm like, that to me, when Earl Spence was being downplayed, I was like, fuck that. You know what I mean? When Bud Crawford's being downplayed, I'm like, fuck that. And I don't care if Earl Spence is doing it or not. I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna call that shit out. And if Bud does that shit, I'm gonna call him out on that shit too. It's just, but he's not. And I just don't get it, man. I don't get where these narratives is going sometimes.
I feel the same way about Bud like you do. So, I think he's been getting a bad rap, but some people say he's doing it to himself. I mean, I don't know. At the same time, I'm not there, like I don't know the inner, things. Bud is not playing to a lot of people's tune. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I just hope it don't backfire on him. You know what I mean?
Right. But he's kicking ass in the ring, and that's what should matter if you're a boxing fan. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
They're gonna tarnish his resume.
Yeah,
as they have,
status, man.
But they did it with his Undisputed. They said that wasn't the most stellar Undisputed,
right.
So I mean,
you can knock that and all that, but when you put them in with these guys every big name when it comes to fucking Bud Crawford has a money issue. It's a money thing. It turns into the exact thing that you don't like talking about, right? They immediately say, oh, well, the money ain't right. I want 10 million. I want 40 million, 60-40.
Right.
And if the money do come up, something else is gonna come up. And I'm just like, I done seen it all, man. Like like I said, to me, it's an excuse to not make the fight happen. I think Bud would have took the 60-40 if the man was just like, yo, can we make this fight happen? And instead of saying 60-40, you say, yo,
right.
You know what? I would like to see a fighter say, all right, cool. Let's get your people together and my people together, and let's get a contract signed, and let's stop all this talking bullshit. And if you want to hype this shit on Twitter and say whatever you want, that's fine. Go ahead, promote the fight for me. But you know what I mean? Until you would get in here and sign this, and we could get a contract together, and we can negotiate behind closed doors about money and shit like that. Because if you ever notice when Mikey talks, when they start getting into money, he goes, well, you're not supposed to talk about things like that.
Right.
It's a way of handling this shit. Yeah.
That's how it should be. See, Bud is falling into this social media trap.
Right.
Because Bud talks his smack too, and his sister. So you figure he's getting caught up in that. And when he was in the light welterweight, it wasn't, but now that he's here 147, he's going to see how it is, because this is a diva division. Come on. The welterweights are known to be a diva division, and the heavyweights, and I mean, it's the darling division, as they call it.
Yeah. And it sucks too, because it's a talented, stacked division. And when you got guys like Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Bud Crawford, Earl Spence, all big name, good fighters, and then you got up and comers coming into the welterweight division, that if these guys is being like that with each other, do these young kids even got a shot at these guys? And the only one who's probably gonna give them an opportunity is Bud, and Bud's like, yo, at what point does Bud say, yo, I was undisputed, I was a 135 champion, undisputed at 140, at 147. Why am I fighting these young guys? You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck do I gotta do that? I did more other than Manny Pacquiao than any of you motherfuckers in boxing, period. Why is it gotta be about the weight division? I don't get that either. Ain't that how it's supposed to work out? You know what I'm saying? Ain't that how it's supposed to go? If a guy moves up in weight and he's super dominant, you didn't hear Kovalev saying things like, well, nah, I'm not fighting Canelo. What the fuck he do at 175? He don't deserve a shot. Oh, nah, right. He gets that. And then it goes right back to what you don't like. He gets that money. So that's different. And it's like, okay, so what exactly are you fighting for? Oh, now it's prize fighting. You know what I mean? Oh, it's prize fight. Of course you fighting and you getting paid and you feel you deserve good pay. I totally get that. But when is it but it becomes a problem to me when you don't want to fight and you're a fighter. That's like, oh, nah, fuck that. I ain't fucking catching the football because the quarterback ain't really thrown to anybody good. I'm not playing that fucking NFL team. Who they really beat? They look at their division. Their division sucks. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why they keep making it to the playoffs. We're not going to play them in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to play him in the NBA in the championship because I'm a bigger name than he is. And it's like, nah, you ain't going to play him because you worried about getting whipped by a team that ain't as popular as you. You concerned. Yeah. You showing concern.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Like it's like, what? Why would I think I think Bud would have took the 60-40 if they handled it correctly. But if you on camera and you say 60-40, what is his response in the negotiation? If he feels you're negotiating, nah, 60-40 my way, because 50-50 wasn't even brought up. It was just 60-40 and I'll beat you down. How did that work out? And what did Roy say to motherfucking Hopkins? And that fight didn't happen when it could have fucking mattered for years. He said 60-40 and I'll spank that ass. And I'm like, I got that drift. And I didn't think that Hopkins would definitely beat a fucking Roy Jones. But that told me something right there. This dude defended his title and broke a record. Fucking Hopkins just beat one of the biggest names in boxing. You know, that was probably on exact level with Roy Jones, that Roy Jones would have fought this guy 50-50, and the first thing comes out of fucking Roy Jones' mouth is 60-40. That told me everything I needed to know. Like, this dude is a problem. You know what I'm saying? So that's not the mentality that Roy Jones preaches. That's not the type of image that he portrays. But when you do that, you don't give them an excuse because they are this big name. You go, oh, wait a minute. No, wait. Like, y'all could negotiate. It probably would have been 60-40 if they went to negotiations. You know what I mean? But you just trying to clown him in socially in front of everybody to avoid the fight. Because he gonna what's the guy gonna say that would be willing to take 60-40 if everyone's looking at him? He's gonna try to save face and he's gonna try to get as much as he can too. That's just the result. That's just testosterone going back and forth. But once you do that, you scrapping the real negotiations. You know, so that's just my outlook on it.
Well, they ain't never been in negotiation. They just talking. Just stuff out there talking.
Right, exactly. And that's what I mean.
I went through this with Floyd and Mayweather.
Yep.
With Wilder and AJ.
Yep.
I'm sick of it. I don't want to hear it. You know, when the fight is made, if it's made, if people still interested, then so be it.
Yep. You didn't hear fucking Sugar Ray and Hagler out there in the media talking about what they wanted in the fight?
They probably did, but they just didn't have social media. Because, you know,
everything.
Sugar Ray was the clear A side in that. So, you know.
That clear A side. But it's kind of the same predicament when you think about it. Because when you think about it, you know, I'm not saying Sugar Ray didn't fight top-notch guys and he wasn't a great fighter and he wasn't moving up and he didn't have the Pepsi commercials or the Coke commercials, whatever he was promoting. Like, he promoted everything. You seen that motherfucker. He was the star, you know? And but why was he a star? Because of boxing. And when it comes to boxing, Hagler deserved all that shit too. But he didn't have the smile, the look, all the shit. He didn't have the charisma, the personality. It's Bud and Spence. But every time you see Spence, this motherfucker sound like he hadn't had a few. You know what I mean? It's like, is he that impressive promoting?
Could be from the accident. We don't know if.
No, I'm talking about prior to that. He sounded like he had a few. Like, whenever you see this dude, you know what I mean, talking about certain shit, he doing that shit, and it's just like, why are you putting this dude on a Sugar Ray Leonard pedestal and he ain't even, like, how charismatic is fucking Earl Spence? Really?
Right.
He said he beat this dude, like he was fucking shit up, and that's wrong. Ain't no wrong with that. We all human. But I'm just saying though, he don't have that it factor either when it comes to promoting a fight. You know, Oh man, you couldn't sell out like this. He has little moments, but so does Bud. I mean, what does he do that Bud don't do out in social media? I mean, when they talking, Bud sit there and say, "I'll beat that dude's ass," and that's exactly what Earl say. I'll beat his ass. So I mean, these dudes are a lot alike. It's just one dude got a bigger city behind him.
Yeah, he has the state. He has a huge fan base, which is the state behind him.
Which is good for him.
He has the backing of Cowboy, you know. So,
and he also with the PBC. That's where all the welterweights are. I get it.
Right.
But
so
at the
he
same
has
time, what is this dude
his
doing?
favor?
Right. But what is Bud doing that would put him in that position? Because when it comes to the ring, he talks shit outside of the ring to the fighters, and he talks good shit. He about that smoke, and then when he gets in there, he lets them know during the fight verbally, and then he lets them know after the fight verbally, before the fight, during the fight, and after the fight. So he is literally, you know what I mean? He's putting it to you all the way. He said, I'm gonna walk it and keep that same energy when I walk it, because you talking right now. I want you to keep that same energy. And then when he gets in there, he's like, I thought you wanted this. When the dude just folding up, and then at the end of the fight, he's like, did you get what you wanted? I like that. You know what I mean? It's subtle, but it's blatant. It's straight to the point. It's like, you got it. You know what I mean? How you feeling now? Where we at? Okay.
Right.
Next, on to the next. Let's just get this show on the road. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But Lisa, I'm about to shut it down. You got any closing thoughts, sweetheart?
Oh, thanks for having me, 1-2 Kid.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for always being such a generous spirit and opening up your platform.
Oh yeah.
For nocturnal heads like myself.
Well, it's a good one though. You got a good head on your shoulders and a damn good heart to match. So
thank you. Likewise, my brother.
Always a pleasure to have you on, and that goes out to Dr. Mario and everybody who was in the chat. But
Mario, brother,
yeah, I like Dr. Mario. We have Mar the Machine. I ain't seen Mar in a minute. That was my boy.
Yeah,
that is my boy.
Mar be around.
Yeah, man, I just be missing sport.
Throwing them flame signs. I see him with the flames. Yeah.
And we have Martin Ramos on here. Tony Reviews came on. Of course, my boy Angel Santos. Red Glove came through. My Mr. 5%er himself. If you ain't check out his video, yo, this dude is crazy what he be doing. So, you know,
that video we did earlier, that was funny.
Yeah, he's funny, man. He's funny.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
If you know boxing, you'll have a lot of fun with that. And shout out to my man Black Horseman, who also had a live. So if you missed that go ahead and check out that playback, because that guy's always got some good knowledge to drop. And me, you know, I'm dead, whatever. I just love boxing, y'all. But
me too.
Thanks for everybody coming, and I enjoyed everybody's company. I enjoyed everything that went down tonight. Everybody that came through, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. And
no doubt.
And keep it up, man. Shout out to everybody. It's the UGC 1-2 Kid coming through. You know what I mean? Now it's time for y'all to go to sleep. Some sleep. Shit, we all need it, man. We ain't getting no younger.
Nope.
But thanks for coming again, Lisa.
All right. Take it easy. Have a blessed night.
Peace, y'all. And the playback.
All right. Peace, everyone.